good? What's good? What's good, folks? It's your boy Chef. What's going on, family? Going on? Hey, let's see this on. How's everybody doing today or tonight? Let me start shouting out everybody in the spot so I don't not show love because I know been a I've been guilty of forgetting to shout certain people out. Dawn, I see you. You always stay in the spot. Sherelle, whoop whoop. We there. We there, yo. Yep. As a matter of fact, let me go to the page. Let me go to the page. That's crazy. Crazy. I'm about to get an echo. That's wild. We got 10 folks watching right now. 40 likes, I take it. We sitting at 200 subscribers, y'all. 200 subscribers. Oh, shit. It's pretty dope. That means we're going to be doing some stuff. Definitely. Got to make sure this thing is worth it, man. Definitely got to make sure it's worth it. So let me keep it going. I see you, Rasta baby. Dr. Presley and Mrs. Presley always in the spot. Kim, I see you. Natalie, what's going on? My man, Victor Freeze. Already know. Mika Marcel, what's up? Who else do we have? I said Rasta baby. Aisha Smith. Good evening, Flower. How you doing this evening? I hope you're blessed. I hope your spirit is well. So, I'm gonna eliminate the 1,100-pound elephant in the room after I take a sip. Yesterday. Woo! Interesting night, wasn't it? Yeah, it was for me too. On a couple of levels. One of the levels was, I don't want to be in the middle of that, yo. I understand the depths of our relationships work and feelings and positive feelings, negative feelings, and all of that. I know how it works. And even when it needs to happen, to some it would look like mess or it would look like chaos. You know. But of course, I had to handle it in a certain way. Why? Because these were two real people involved in this thing. This wasn't just some dude and some girl. This was somebody that meant something to the homie at some point. And the homie was on there. One thing, I don't want to be in the middle of it, but if there was anybody that I think needed to handle it, if there was anybody I think needed to handle it, I think that I would have been the right one in that situation. It doesn't mean that I really want to be in the middle of all of that. It really does. So I had to be careful because I don't need the homie looking crazy. We started a beautiful thing together and it's flourishing and it's making moves. So, I got a dog in that fight as well. So it is what it is. I guess we had to chalk it up to journalistic integrity. Because even though people sometimes, pardon me, ready for the smoke, got the big dog Red Bull. the Red Bull 40 ounce. So one thing I figured out about this YouTube world, man, the easygoing, nice guy stuff, good guys stuff, the happy motivational stories. People don't want to see that, man. People don't want to see that. People want to. There's people that show you love. Great, you balance, Jeff. Man, you're really balanced. You know, you don't lie. You share. You're able to come with great perspectives. All of this and that. But it seems like the episodes that have the least amount of balance are the ones that get the most love, the most attention. And there's a few people that I know from YouTube that literally said this, like, yeah, man, you know why? They want blood. They want blood. You know, like it's an arena. It's wild. At some point, we're so desensitized by certain aspects of positivity that it's the shit. And they tell you to pinch yourself. People pinch themselves, or people that have the rubber band and snap their wrists. It's to create a certain sense of stimulus. And at some point, we're so attracted to the stimulus. We're so attracted to the mess. We're so attracted to seeing people's pain. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's real life, though. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. You got. These are real people, yo. Like I keep saying it because that's what I keep saying to myself too. Like these are real people. These are not actors. These are not paid characters. These are not people that are, that get a big ass salary to come up and do this, who choose to be in a particular life. These are people that are in the life they were given and they live in it. So understand, when you see whatever you see, it's real. None of the stuff is scripted. We keep it organic. So, you know, I do what I do. And in the end, I recognize different aspects of people and I move amongst the people. And I just want to make sure you guys understand that when you see what we're doing up there, because there was some comments that we received talking about, oh, y'all doing this for the likes, doing this. Hell no. Hell no. Ain't doing these for no likes. Don't like this shit. Don't like the mess. I don't like the movements. I don't want to say I'm not built for this kind of game. I've not been groomed to this kind of game to understand certain aspects of these people. Sometimes some of the YouTube world and some of these people, they almost seem like claymation characters, like Gumby and shit. Where it's not some of it just seems so unreal. Maybe it's just me. So let me throw something out here. Maybe one of you guys could jump in and give me an idea. What makes the YouTube environment so fake? What do you think it is? What do you think about the YouTube environment that makes it fake? You know, is it something that, is it the search for fame? Is it the search for wealth? You know, is it the search for power? Because in all honesty, you know, power actually exists within my mindset. Power exists above wealth and fame. People that have power have wealthy people at their beck and call. Wealthy people utilize their resources to align with people of power. There's a big difference. Same thing with fame. Famous people like to become people of power and also align with people of power. Believe that. But what is the allure that will make people move in certain ways and behave in ways that's different from who they are? I'm gonna start showing some chats up here. You know, I'm still getting my StreamYard etiquette. Sherelle says drama brings traction to the page. Drama brings traction to the page. StreamYard for you guys too. I agree. Definitely brings traction to the page. But why? Is it that people don't want to be happy? Or is it for that adrenaline rush that you get, you know, the endorphins, that adrenaline rush you get when you're dealing with something painful or something ugly to watch? You know, the same reason some folks go to scary movies. Dawn said make believe. Yes, Natalie. Alternative reality is really in these YouTube streets. There's lots of editing. There's lots of editing, you know, lots of cuts, lots of lighting enhancements and special zooms and, you know, all of these magic things that you do. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's magical, you know. 1 minute you're here, you know, next minute you're here. You see what I did there, right? Right. I'm learning something. But yeah, man, I thought that being on the network, I thought being on the network was actually, you know, and some of the lucid stuff that I was saying and some of the things we are unpacking. I was like, shit, I thought that was enough. But then I got a lot of people that were like, yo, yeah, man, your shit is looking crazy, bro. You need to do this. You need to do that. You know, you need to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't jump out here for fame and all of that. You know, I jumped on, had some words to say, and people tended to enjoy those words. So I'm making that move, you know. Yeah, I know I'm gonna be buying another camera and all of that, but it's 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 crazy. And I'm like, yo, tell me about what you think that I said. Tell me. You know, does my voice sound better if I got this shit in 8K, 4K, 160 frames per second? Does it change, you know, the meaning or impact of my words? I don't know. But it's crazy. I got one of the building with for a minute over here, you know, and I'm gonna bring him up. He always has something to say, and I call him the Rico Tamer. Him and Rico need his own show. Yeah. What it do? Victor Freeze, aka Just Vic, what's popping on?
Top Chef.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, my brother?
Chilling, man. Welcome aboard. Thanks for popping through. What's going on with you?
You said a Rico Tamer.
Yeah, you the
Hey,
Rico
that's
Tamer.
my
You like,
man. That's my man then.
yeah, when y'all was on together, the few times y'all was on together, it almost felt like, you know, when you out at the family occasion and then
You feel like family, yo.
Unc get a little too saucy, right?
Yeah.
And then you're rolling and he's like, and Unc like, man, I'm gonna get them. He's like, come on, Unc, come on,
Come
get in
on,
the car, Unc. I got you, man. Don't Unc, come on, let's go.
You already know.
You know, he get to rubbing his head like this.
Yeah, hey, you know he be rubbing that head. You know what time it is
He
already.
rubbing the demons out.
Ah,
For real, man. But yeah, man, I kind of threw out a little thing with the talking about, this YouTube environment
okay.
and the matrix like aspect of it.
The Matrix.
It's,
Mm,
yeah, man, you heard it. It's just the way people move is extremely different within this environment. It's almost like a bizarro world where what's up is down is up. I don't know if you ever
parallel
get the
universe.
comics. Yeah, parallel universe, but everything is antithetical or opposite to the real world. You got folks. Your your word is not your word in this place. I could talk to you, and I have to understand that there's a great possibility that you're recording the conversation. I talk to you about one thing, and then you align with somebody else you feel that doesn't like me. Well, it's shit is a lot, bro.
The way I see it, the way I see it, what people are doing these days, it's like the social media world is just like the movie, like say Surrogates or Avatar or something like that.
Hmm.
People get to be who they really are, whoever they want it to be. They get to be the asshole, the ladies' man, whatever they want to be, the comedian, whatever it is, behind the keyboard. See, so when you tell people, "Hey, come up," you see, you notice how that don't happen as often. You would think it would be more people willing to show up and say their piece
Right.
to be down there. And I assume no matter who I'm talking to inside of this space, I look at it like what he said, Yuli Wood.
Yep.
Yeah, I assume that I'm being recorded. I assume that my text message or Instagrams are going to potentially be used against me one day. So I make sure my words are measured, especially in text, because these are the receipts a lot of people claim that they have. You understand? So just every move I make, I'm watching, make sure I ain't leaving no shit to step in.
Man, listen, this is screenshot generation, yo.
Screenshot.
Screenshot generation. So, question.
Talk.
You remember what the original topic we were on yesterday?
I got notes. I got notes. I feel a way about this YouTube thing. I think there's a lot of room for brothers to do something major. And we can't squander it. Um,
Yeah. And also, while you guys are here, if you haven't subscribed to the page, please make sure you go subscribe to the page. And if you're not already a member of the Conversations with King page, please go over there. That page is approaching 1,000. So we could get that 1,000 subscriber celebration. I had some pants tailored for the 1,000 subscriber celebration. Yeah, man.
okay. When the show jumped off, one of the topics was can you still be friends after your relationship, or should you still be friends, or is it better to let someone go completely?
All right, hold on 1 second. Let me put that up real quick. I want to make sure y'all get this.
Can you still be friends? Or is it better to let go completely? Was that you talking about personal imprinting?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me some more about that angle. I like that angle. Personal imprinting, not even a sexual nature, but just bigging someone up.
Yeah. So when I brought that theory up, it was one of my theories. I got a lot of little theories because I have to. This stuff got to make sense in my mind, right? So I'm personal imprinting. You understand that when you imprint on somebody, any of the ladies that are into the romance movies, you ever seen a sort of Twilight series? They actually utilize the term imprinting. But in real life, imprinting is normally when you're in a relationship and that relationship is so cosmic that that person leaves an indelible impression on you. That means when I say indelible, indelible means something that can't be erased. It's
Mm,
permanent,
mm,
like, like Sharpie, right? That's when somebody imprints on you. And for some people, they're imprinted on by their first lover.
mm.
It happens like that. Or they may be imprinted on upon by the person that was their most deepest love. And
Mm.
there's no one else that's loved them before at that point.
Got you.
And it's one of those loves that's hard to delete, it's hard to remove. But there's another type of imprinting, which I consider personal imprinting. Personal imprinting is not something that is what I consider a positive thing because it's actually based within obsession.
Mm,
It's based within obsession. The longer and harder that you obsess over another human being, the longer you prevent yourself from removing them from your cerebral cortex. The longer that you obsess and focus on what a person's doing, where are they at, who are they with, how successful they are, this, that, and the other. You actually have, there's a way that you can imprint yourself
mm.
just utilizing that person's essence or that person's image. So when we talk about folks that are obsessed, or they say fatal attraction, or they say stuff like, oh man, you must have knocked it down real good. Oh man. A lot of times it has nothing to do with that. A lot
Mm.
of times it had nothing to do with that. A lot of times it had to do with the fact of how much she makes you a part of, how much real estate she gives you within her brain. So personal imprinting is something that it happens, man. It happens. Some folks, some dudes don't even realize how they can encourage it to. Some
Mm.
fellas want to have a lady that can't breathe without them.
Damn, man. Guilty.
Some dudes when you want to feel that, where it's like, man, like she feels like she would die without me, man. Oh man, she gotta. Yeah, you think you want that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wanna move on, but you don't want her to move on.
Yeah. Sometimes the ones that is ready to die without you gonna be the same motherfuckers ready to kill you.
Hey, that's why I said what I said, yo.
Leave that one
That's
to
why.
the
Hey,
side.
Vanilla Sky. Listen,
Man.
I've seen the wildest situation. Like my partner Chris, I call him Sagat because he got the scar right there. Go from his shoulder all the way across his belly button, all the way down to his hip.
As well.
The real life joint. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't a
Right.
pretty scene when it happened. You know what I mean? It's a funny story now, but not then. And uh, on another platform, I heard somebody, a relatively reliable source, speaking on a situation where the man, he didn't cheat on the woman, but she thought he did, or it was a situation
It
of
was a
that.
movie. What's her name? Taraji Henson's movie.
Mm,
Acrimony. Was it Acrimony?
Yeah, I did watch that. That was wild.
Yeah, I didn't. I had that movie on my phone for a minute, and I didn't watch it until a few months ago.
Hmm.
And it was totally different than I expected it to be, right? And I was like, shit, I should have watched that earlier, man. That was a pretty dope movie because in the end, it allowed you to understand how deep obsession can go. It tricks your brain. Your brain is it's the center where everything functions from. It tricks your brain. And after it tricks your brain, what does your brain do? It controls all your functions. So you start to hear things differently. You hear sarcasm when there wasn't sarcasm.
Hmm.
You start to see things differently. A look or something else, and you start to, oh, he didn't do that shit before. Oh, what the hell is going on? Oh, he got a new cologne now. I wonder who he's putting that new cologne for. You know what it is. So obsession is crazy because obsession literally, truly is driven by only one person.
Ah.
Only one person. It's obsession. It's a mental infarction. It's driven by one person. The other person doesn't matter. You ever have them girls that go crazy over every dude?
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know, one of my homegirls, if she was in the chat right now, she would be like, F you, man. She knows. I was
Okay.
like, yo, I used to tell her.
Stupid.
There was a joke, and this was literally, she was like my best friend, where she's cool with, my kid's mother's cool with my family. She lived a few doors down or whatever. So we were able to communicate really well. And she had said something about, yeah, I put it on. She was talking about a new dude. She like, yeah, I put it on him. I was like, man, get the hell on out of here with that bullshit. She's like, what you mean? I put it on. I was like, you ain't put it on nothing. You can't take the D. Shut up. She's like, what you mean? I said, yo, 4 different dudes after they want to stop messing with you, you started flying off the handle. You can't take it. You ain't putting it on nobody. You just putting it on yourself, right? And she started laughing. She was like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, you ain't take, no.
Mm.
But obsession is crazy. And what's funny is the things that I bring back, I like to keep a level of consistency. Some of the things that I will say, I could tie back into some of the other things I say, right?
Okay.
Some people have become obsessed. I believe that in their mind or in their heart, the love that they exhibit or the love that they learn, their love language,
Right.
is more related to dominion. You get what I'm saying? I love you, so you got to
Possession.
be within this box. I love you. Well, you can't talk to these other people. I love you, so I don't like that bitch. So why are you talking to her? I don't refer to ladies like that, but I'm just giving you guys,
Real life situation.
reenactments. Right? Some people's love has dominion. And the fact that I love you means that now you have to exist a certain way. You have to move a certain way. You have to, move within a certain subset of boundaries. And a lot of times I believe that's the same place where the obsession comes from, because we start to look at people less as sentient beings and look at the love that we have for them as a lease, as a deed. You get what I'm saying? As some sort of ownership. So Hanifa said, mind your own. Love equals control for a lot of us because that's how we were loved.
Mm.
I like that.
Okay.
You might need to jump up and talk on that, Hanifa. You can't drop no gems and then don't point the diamonds to me. I need to know, because that's dope. Love equals control for a lot of us. That's how we were loved. Boundaries and standard are relevant. So that's, let me see what Dante said. He said boundaries and standard are relevant. I agree with that. So You got daughters, Vic?
Nah.
No, only boys.
No, I'm raising four. You know what I'm saying? I got two girls. Yeah.
Okay. So that's when I said you
Okay.
are the male figure and positive figure within the life of two
Right.
young flowers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think like what do you think? Because we always talk action steps. What do you think that we need to do as fathers to prevent that type of love? Like, I know you don't have the magic pill. I don't have the magic pill. But my question is, if we were to just start trying to come up with an action plan, let's throw up some things that we might think about to create a more confident level of or a more confident love language for our daughter,
Hmm.
knowing everything that we know.
I would personally say a visual expression of respect and love for their mother in front of them, um,
Mm,
to show.
wait. We gotta remember this is an actual plan. So say that again for me. I'm gonna type that out.
uh, a visual expression of love and respect for their mother and their
Oh,
presence.
visual. So you want to give visual expressions of love, letting
Right.
them see, how much we love Mama, and okay.
Yeah. Making sure I don't never, you know what I'm saying, disrespect her in front of them at the same time. That's why I say the respect.
Okay, visual expressions of love towards their mother. That's dope. So, all right. So that was one.
Um,
Give me one. Give me one. Watch this. For when you're not with their mother, or would this qualify for both?
okay.
Because we do have a lot of situations where families don't remain
Not
together.
together. Right.
So if
Making sure to be as present as possible, making sure that matter of fact, scratch that. Standing by your word, showing what a real man should look like, being the example of the man that you would want your daughter to marry.
okay, okay, I like that. I like that. I like that.
I don't like to promise them anything, but if I do, I'm gonna stand by it. I'm gonna stand by it every time, even if I gotta do some weird shit or move some other shit around, just to make sure I stand up to what I said. And I always communicate, especially if I can't, and making sure
Hmm.
I understand that they're important. You know what I mean, and that their feelings are important, so they don't have to be on the receiving end of, you know what I mean, just blatant disrespect.
I agree. So you got one of mine. You had got one of mine, which was the visual expressions of love towards their mother. Folks, I know she may be a pain in the ass to you. I know you may be a pain in the ass to her. It's important though. I know that within the modern family, it's hard to not argue or see little situations come up in front of the children. What's important though, what's extremely important, a lot of times these arguments start around 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and it's a blow up argument. But then the kids fall asleep by 8. Y'all might make a resolution by 9:30, 10 in the morning. By 9:30, 10 at night. By the next morning, folks going about their business to go to work. The kids saw the bullshit. They saw the dust up, but they never saw to calm down. If we want them to understand how to move and, conflict resolution, they got to see it from us first. If they grew up in a house where you throw shit,
Right.
more than likely, when they get dating age, dude may catch a shoe coming for his dome. It happens. It's natural.
Mm-hmm.
So I sincerely believe that that was important in terms of letting them see the expression. For me, outside of that one, the other piece is a level of emotional independence,
Hmm.
creating a level of emotional independence.
The ability to be alone and still be happy.
Right. And this conversation is not, we're not talking about what we're going to do for the young rocks. Nah, this is for the grown ass rocks to talk about how we're, you know, going to be with our young flowers. Emotional intelligence.
Hmm.
Do I have it? Do I have the lesson plan for her emotional intelligence? No. My daughter's 5 years old. So in August, she just started kindergarten. Right. And, she's getting around different people and different kids with different personalities. And I was a little nervous at first because she was upset. She was like, such and such girl doesn't like me, daddy. And I'm like, damn it. Such and such girl doesn't like me. I said, why? I don't know. I just was playing with them and I sat down and then they were ignoring me. I said, don't worry, baby. You're okay. You're all right. You know, you got Ford power. You're great. You're a winner. You don't need them. Don't worry. A couple of days passed, same thing. A girl told her. She told me don't talk to her friend. I said, did her friend say that? She said, no. I said, don't worry. Don't worry because you're magical and you have a special energy with you. You
Mm.
know. She's like, yeah, baby. And we call it Ford power.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, baby. Yeah, you got it. Following week, I said, what happened? She was like, this girl told me she doesn't want me to talk, and she was interrupting, and she said she don't want me to talk or talk to her friends. I said, wow, did that make you feel bad? She said, a little bit. I said, so what happened? Did it make you upset? She said, no, I told her, this is not your party. This is my party. 5-year old. You get what I'm saying? And when she said that, I was like, yeah.
Okay. She got the lesson.
She caught the lesson. You get what I'm saying? That this place that we're going through is not going to be smooth. You know what I mean? It's not going to be smooth, but the thing is building a level of emotional intelligence. So let me put that there. I want to type that out.
I think there's emotional intelligence and then there's emotional discipline.
Mm,
It's a lot of people who
talk it up. Talk it
understand.
up.
There's a lot of people who are socially adept and they get it. But when they find themselves inside of one of those tailspins that you were speaking of, along the lines of obsession or anger or rage, the wide spectrum, they get too high, they get too low, and they don't see the world the same. So it doesn't matter how emotionally intelligent they are in that state, you are in a state of uh, limited insanity, temporary insanity. You're not yourself. Just like being sick. Strong man being sick, he don't look like himself. He shrivel up. He can't take care of himself. Can't wipe his own ass. You're like, damn, I remember when he used to lift this or build that. And when you're in that emotional state, that's why the world looks at you with pity because they know who you are outside of it, but you can't get out of it. It's like watching somebody locked away, you know. So I mean, the idea is, like you said, a lot of people psych themselves out and put themselves in that space. So you gotta also have a emotional discipline, and I think that's when you meet people from the other side of the spectrum who have that discipline because they're so disconnected. It's easy for them, and they tend to hurt people on from the other side, even though they are trapped. That's all I got. You on mute, baby. You on mute, Chef.
No, you good. You good. Thank you. Dante, he stated, does emotional intelligence equal stoicism?
Hmm.
Funny thing is, no. I think emotional discipline equals stoicism, not emotional intelligence, because I believe that intelligence or emotional intelligence is what you would consider the overarching principle.
Mm-hmm.
Once you have that emotional intelligence, then it would allow you to understand that emotional discipline is something that you need to use or utilize.
Right,
And the emotional discipline is stoicism.
right.
So, just to make sure folks don't talking over your heads, bring something up. I'm giving you the classic representation of that meaning. It's the meaning of stoicism. It's a noun. The endurance of pain or hardship without the display of feelings and without complaint.
Poker face.
Poker face, or watch this, hood shit, taking it like a G.
Taking it like a G. I think a lot of that, it most people don't start that way. That's that evolution that we speak of a lot. And when you learn what not to do inside of these situations, and it may be something as simple as to not fully invest in that person off the bat, not to give them everything in the first 2 weeks or after the first sexual encounter, not to do everything that you know in your sexual playbook. So the whole thing is, if you can ration out how you display your love while not leaving that person deficient, I think that is the happy medium, the alkaline, the even Q or even kill, where you can create a relationship and a bond while keeping that person's attention and attraction without creating the complete obsession. They call it, hey, listen, they call it the dope D. Can't give them the dope D. Definitely not on the first go around. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. See, you wanted me to get ratchet yesterday a little bit. I had to do it authentically. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily do that a lot. But the whole thing is, there's there's like we said, fucking. There's making love, but then there's another level, because there's a lot of married people or a lot of single people, or I mean just different relationships, and they make love or they fuck. But what I think most people are looking for is what they call ecstasy. And that's
Speak on
another
it.
plane.
Speak on it.
That's another plane. And not everybody is trained to go there, to take you there. You can't even get there like that. You got to be invited. That's a special club, like the Mile High Club or something. And people are desired so much, like it's a unicorn. When you run into one, it creates an instant obsession because you've never seen anything like that. You've never had this experience before. So you definitely want to go back there. And this is the only person you know that has access to take you. So when you create that and know that's what you're creating for someone because you're so sexually experienced, knowing how much it ties into the mind because you are so stoic. When you mix those two things together, man, it's like the recipe for a complete time bomb. And you can strategically do it. The dude on Fresh and Fit said it. He said, I want her soul. And they kind of roasted him for it. But you know what I'm saying? You heard him say it?
Yeah, the reason that they roasted him was because he was talking about hitting and quitting and hitting and, smashing and passing. But then, you end up coming back on the other side and talking about, nah, you don't just want that, you want a soul. So it was just that he was inconsistent. But I remember when he said that when, not Myron, what's the name? Fresh said it.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with a woman, and I personally, just me personally, I can't find pleasure unless she finds pleasure. I feel like I'm inadequate. I don't like women who don't make any noise, but they out there. You know what I'm saying? But you can tell when a woman's been sexually repressed. So to bring her out of that shell is like something new every time. You know what I mean? With a different each person. So you can't come with the same strategy. But once you're in the mind, you can access the body in so many other ways, and that level of newness when you bring it to someone, it's just creates a complete new world and atmosphere for them, and they have to get back there. Okay. It's junk.
So we kind of started the conversation. I'm rabbit holing it a little bit. We started the conversation when we were talking about the daughters, right?
Oh yeah. I did that.
No, we're good. We're good. Where we came to an interesting place because there was something that I had jotted down earlier. So we might as well come to it because you were talking about what you were talking about. So hold on. Here's the question.
Oh shit! Got me, I wasn't ready.
I know you wasn't ready for it. Hey, look, you threw up you don't even know. You threw the alley up, bro. You threw the alley up. Threw it
up. Oh man, early. Early, I think. Okay, let's say this: if they marry early, but if that good deed is not tied to the person they marry, I think the earlier they get it, the bigger the gap between when they can reconcile. Because if someone takes them there early, then that's probably not gonna be the person that they end up with. Because that means somebody was probably much older, and they're gonna be searching through man after man or woman after woman, trying to find that again, and it's just no one's ever gonna measure up.
The reason, and I didn't really give appropriate context to why I said that. We're talking about emotional discipline and the things we want to teach our daughters, and then you talked about the sexual aspect. So I started thinking, it was like, man, the hot girl summer generation, they want, the big whips, big cash, big D, big whips, big cash, big D. But in the end, forget the cash and the whips. I remember back when I was in high school, man. I remember when I was in high school, you had chicks talking about they need somebody that was packing a punch.
Yeah.
Right. in the back of my mind, I'm like, you ain't even fully developed. You don't need a table leg. You get what I'm saying? It didn't make no sense.
Hey, cosign.
It didn't make any sense. And then the thing is, the ones that when we was in high school, and I was in Flatbush, so they had the Junglers, the Spanglers, you had the BMW crew, you had on the Caribbean, Jamaican drug dealing crews out there, and they were getting to the bread. So you see a dude come up, pull up in a Cressida. If y'all are old enough to understand how ill the Toyota Cressidas was in the Caribbean community, right? Pull up in a Cressida, and dude will be like, look like 29, 30, coming to pick up
High school.
the hot girl in the sophomore, junior class. You get what I'm saying?
Trust me, they did all that here.
The
I'm
thing
like,
is,
yo, y'all coming back to take our ladies? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's wild, yo. And they was going too.
yeah, man. So it's like they're not equipped. I don't believe that they're equipped. People state they want things, but they're not fully equipped to be able to understand the onslaught or just the impacts to themselves. You know, the impacts to themselves.
To the impacts of themselves.
The impacts to themselves. So look, here's what I'm doing right now. What you call it? What's up? I need some fathers up here. I need some fathers up here.
Yeah, we
At
was
least
on.
to give their piece. There was a couple of things, because one thing Vic and I've been doing, and I'm gonna give that to him. In terms of making me know that, yeah, I got to make sure I do this, because we could be debating stuff forever.
Right.
Action steps. So, brothers, rocks. If you pop up to talk about it, or you have a concern about what we're talking about, we're talking about how we are cultivating. It's kind of based around us cultivating our flowers into the garden, right? Because they're going to be the bringers of life and oxygen, and the speech. So, one of the action steps was showing visual expressions of love towards their mother, right? That one is if you're with their mother currently. I challenged Vic and said, I need fun. I need one from when you and the mother are not together. And he stated, standing by your word and showing what a real man should look like. Right? I agreed with that one, and the visual expression. So one that I came with was building a level of emotional intelligence. Building a level of emotional intelligence, right? So those are three of the action steps. Building a level of emotional intelligence was the last one. And we kind of monkey branched off into
Right.
this particular topic because, one of the conversations Dante Henry brought up was about stoicism too. And we talked about emotional discipline. That was the other one. Showing the difference between you remember what emotional intelligence and emotional discipline.
Can you teach that?
Everything can't be taught.
Hmm.
Everything can't be taught. The thing is, there's lessons that could be showed. But everything is not a lesson. Sometimes we as parents have to fashion something into a lesson. We have to fashion things into a lesson, right? I might be with my son, when he was much younger, and say I was riding around with my son, and say he would always do his homework late, the night before it was done, the night before it was due, or it was late, where he ended up having to get an extension to do it when he's in middle school. And I'm trying to get his ass to stop procrastinating, right? Well, if me and him happen to be riding up I-85 and I run out of gas, yeah, I'm gonna be pissed off. I have to deal with the shit, right? Okay.
Exactly.
But you know what? Hell, that's a lesson right there. It's like, Look at that shit.
Couple of
See what I'm
lessons.
saying? I could have done it. I could have done it yesterday. I could have done it yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon. But no, I want to do this. I want to do that. Look now.
Now
Look
we
now. You see? Look what procrastination does. Now I got to sit on this car on the highway, and now you got to take your ass to the gas station with the red bucket and go and get that gas and bring your ass back here. You see?
drove hard.
But it's lessons, man. Lessons, bro. We create simulations. What up, JB? Thanks for jumping through, family. We create simulations. We create simulations in life all the time. We make shit up all the time. We do. We need to start being the executive producer of the movie of life that we trying to have them watch as well. And the excitement, the Jerry Bruckheimer shit, the Spielberg aspect of it, all of that is important because that's the way they're going to be learning. So those lessons, to get back to your specific question, was sometimes we just have to figure out a way to create lessons out of certain things that are mundane, rudimentary lessons out of things that are just mundane. It's not always going to be exciting, but you're always going to be able to pull something, pull some sort of message.
Listen,
What movie was that from?
don't be a menace.
Menace, that's what a message. Yeah. That's what I got. Let me go. Let me put this link in here because I want some fathers to come in here and talk some talk.
Talk that talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I say this, right? So I'm not gonna say the names or anything, but I got a I got a 6, 8, a 9, and a 12. And 2 girls is in the middle.
Mm.
So they're 2 completely different personalities, like period. But they're like big personalities. And I noticed, like, with children, it's like you could have just gave them the business, verbally and told them whatever. Next thing you know, they want to be right back up under you. And with the oldest girl, I tell her, I said, listen, if I walk in the door, she went, oh, let me show you, let me show you, let me show you, let me show you. So I taught her, I said, listen, you got a beautiful mind. It's so creative, but you got to learn timing, or you'll take a good thing and make it a bad thing. And I'm like, I wonder, like, did she capture that? So, next time I came in, she ran up to me, then she's like, then she kind of just walked off. And
Right.
she kind of like, she held it for about 5 minutes. She said, is this a good time? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, but you heard me and I got that. So she makes sure before she approached me, she kind of observes my mood. If I'm busy, if I'm moving fast, if I'm in an aggressive posture, you know what I mean? She'll wait. And you'll see her waiting, but she'll wait. You know what I mean? And then I kind of cool myself off from whatever I'm, might be feeling at the moment. And I'm like, what is this, guy? I just wanted to show you, okay, cool. Let's see it. You know what I mean? And I'll take that time. And that's kind of what I was talking about as far as showing, like, listen, a man who loves you will be patient with you. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to respect timing. You got somebody coming up? It's all you, chef.
Yeah. I want to talk to this piece. Love language is creating a level of emotional independence, the ability to be alone and still be happy. Interesting. Ultraviolet. We might need you to pull up on us for that one. You don't have to cam up if you don't want to. or the love language, creating a level of emotional intelligence and emotional
And
independence, the ability to be alone and still be happy. Daniel Suarez. Let's talk about that.
if you grew up as an only child, I think it's much easier to understand how to be alone and still be happy. But if you grew up in any kind of a communal environment where you're sharing and there was always someone present, I think you'll always be drawn to that. You'll always seek out other people for your own happiness. Most of the people I know who came up in, multiple sibling households, they don't do well when they're forced to be alone. You know what I mean? You can kind of see it in a lot of different situations, including the prison system. You know what I mean? People who always just gotta be around somebody, always clicking up, always, you know how that goes. So
So, in terms of them always be alone, you know the ones that don't too much have an issue with being alone
hmm
or being a loner. See, only children, only children. You know, my son, because my son's mom, she had daughters. Before my son was born, so his level of emotional or social interdependence was a little different because they were always there, right?
uh,
My 5 year old, it's me, her, and her mom, right? So of course we're older, much older than somebody else that would have a 5 year old. She's a road dog. You get what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't have a bunch of kids running around with her, but when we go to Vegas, she goes to Vegas. When we go, you know what I'm saying? When we go, she's our road dog, and, and
she,
it's
yeah, okay, yeah, I know
it's
exactly what.
and it's crazy. But the thing is, she's like the most, and she just started going to kindergarten. She's the most mature
Sure,
kid in her class because, and
she's
she knows how to
been
work
about
alone.
dope.
Yeah, her teacher, when we had to go to a funeral in Chicago,
hmm
and she was out for a week. The teacher hit us up like, "Man, I miss my little helper," you know,
Mm,
because she's so much more mature,
right.
and the fact that there's no other kids doing kid shit around, so
Right.
it spooked me out one day, man. Spooked me out one day when I was on my phone, and she ran up on me. This was a couple months back, and she's like, "Daddy, you watching La Peef?" I looked at her like, "Huh?" And I had it on pause, right? And then she's like, "That's Chicago Rilla. That's La Peef. That's
She knew
Ed.
who everybody was.
Yo." When I tell you, it blew my mind because Thursday nights, I would never take that away from that network. Thursday nights, that was like I would
Yeah,
go to the fancy restaurant, get something to bring back home, tell my lady, "Yo, come on, we gonna watch that show."
yeah,
But I said all of that to say what we show them and the environment we put them in is going to have so much of an impact. But the thing is, we as parents, we have to be aware of not just the positions that we putting them in, but the options that exist, man. We got to understand the options. Hold on one second. In the four agreements, it was something. The reason that I brought up the four agreements was because we teach our daughters their love languages. We show them what we believe is acceptable and what is tangible. And when I say tangible, it's something that you can actually feel. Tangible as in it's something that you can actually have, something you can actually obtain, right?
okay.
If they ain't never seen it, they're gonna be like, man, that's bullshit. The love and the emotional intelligence we bring to them, it's something that it's a learned thing, you know. So I believe for me, being impeccable with your word, and I read the Four Agreements, by the way. You know, it's an important book, and it's a book that allowed me to communicate with people. And if I seem long-winded, it's because, for the record, I'm not just speaking to your ass.
Mm,
There's different levels of intelligence, and me being formally trained to speak to large groups of people, I understand that there's a talented 10th and there's the
mm.
theory of the talented 15th, right? But yes, there's only 10 to 15% of y'all. But there's what I call, and that's my theory, Chef's theory, the tactical 90%,
Mm.
the tactical 85 or 90%. Everybody's, you know what I mean? Everybody's not extraordinary. There's the average. And I'm speaking to multiple groups of people. So, you know, it's, you got to be tangible, man. So being impeccable with my word, I parse my words specifically so that there'll be a level of understanding. The way your children watch you communicate is going to be the way they
They can.
communicate. All
Right.
the magical cuss words, your special cuss words that you got, trust me, your kid is gonna use those same cuss words, and they even gonna put a little extra special twang on that shit. You know, just because they won't be extra.
I tell
Don't
people,
take. Go ahead, talk to me.
yeah, I like watch how you handle conflict. That's one of the main things I noticed that children pick up from the people they're around the most. How to handle conflict. And what they won't do is snap back at you like you snapped at them. But what they will do is snap on each other. And I recognized it like, oh, because you know how you listen in a little bit. Like, let me see how what y'all talking about. What kind of, how the conversation go when they ain't around. And it's like, word? Oh, really? That's how y'all really feel? Okay. But when I come around, you a kid again. Like, nah, they picking all of that up. They're recording. They using everything they heard on the internet, everything they learned from their friends in school, and everything you said and told them not to say. They watching, and you can't control what part they record. You know,
Watching all the time.
all the
The other
time.
the other piece that you actually just said it when you were talking about conflict resolution. Don't take
Mm-hmm.
anything personally, right? That goes back to the stoicism talk that we were having when we talked about stoicism and emotional discipline. Right? Don't make assumptions. For me, that's the piece that makes people think that I'm so smart. I don't make assumptions. If I'm in the middle of speaking something, even if I'm flowing, I have no problem saying stop and say, you know what? Let me go do a check.
Yeah.
I don't make assumptions. I try to find the information. Making an assumption is the worst thing. Imagine an assumption is a guess. It's not even a real hypothesis.
All right.
It's a guess that we talking called 3DM in corporate America. 3DM, DDDM. That's data driven decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Data driven decision making.
It's in the right book.
So if you utilize data driven decision making, more chances than not, you're not going to make moves, pivotal moves based on inappropriate or improper or false assumptions. So don't make assumptions. So how do you not make assumptions?
Due diligence.
Ask the damn questions, do your research, listen more than you speak. Listen more than you speak. Seek information. All right. It's JB, it's DDDM, three D's and an M. Data driven decision and then making. 3DM. Right. Let's talk about the other one. Always do your best. Now, when I tell you guys that I have streams of consciousness, right? Where I sit, like the old school rosters, they might chill 12 of them beating a drum and bun them spliff, you know,
Yeah,
bun this spliff and sitting there, have a little white rum, and then they'll just be building.
you responsible
Four
for that.
agreements, I read it and I know what it is, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. The connection to us creating a situation for our daughters, I didn't even think. It was just like, damn, it made so much sense. Think about it. Don't Impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions, right? So now we could jump to the last one. Always do your best. And I could take this one. Always do your best. If you are lazy, non-working, Xbox playing daddy that's not bringing anything, protection, provision, you know, shiftless, and her mom just has you there because she wants, she got the bread. You don't cost that much to raise, to feed, and she loves her daughter and wants her daughter to see her daddy in the home, or she doesn't want to pay for childcare, whatever it is. The kind of man that she will potentially accept in the future, a man that lacks duty, a man that lacks ambition, a man that lacks that get up and go, that lacks that assertiveness, that proactivity, that desire to be progressive. She's going to be able to fall in line with those who don't have it. When you always do your best, I believe that the personality and the life archetypes for our daughter, what they see. Period. Period. We model the man, or the opposite sex archetype for our daughters in terms of what they will accept, what they think is understandable, and all of that. So, as corny as it seems, always do your best is important, because if they don't see you driving forward for a further goal, they're just going to be, what they accept will be impacted by it. But that's just my humble opinion.
You know what I find? Women that are in touch with multiple men who don't want anything from them sexually, like a lot of brothers or uncles or a good father in the home or whatever the case may be, and they treated them real good, they tend to be much more combative just because they feel like they can get that love elsewhere, in my opinion, is why.
Mm,
But like it makes you optional, and I don't think a lot of those men give the balance. It's either one way or the other. Like not there, don't care, or my princess, you can do no wrong. And I don't think the balance is there about holding your daughter accountable. The whole daddy girl principle. Yeah, because I get it. Because I don't. I listen. I don't want to hear a grown woman cry, but a little girl cry. I can't be the source of that. Break my head. You know what I'm saying? So I be mad, yo, but you're gonna get your way a lot more than you probably should. And then that sets a bad precedent for the world, because the world is not gonna treat you that way. And if they do, they got something tied to it. You know what I mean? So I think we have to be careful about how much we allow our girls to get away with as fathers. You know what I mean?
It's
Whole fire.
no. You good. What's funny is my 5-year-old. She's the one that spent the most time with me. Because my 14-year-old, she did her thing. We might do another show in the future about it, but her mom bounced. Her mom bounced when my daughter was 3. So, I've been with this one here into the age of 5. And it's like, I was in my son's life. I had him the first 2 years, his mom had postpartum. So I had him the first 2 years of his life. And then, we ended up doing where I have him part-time and she have him part-time. So it was a little different. But this one right here, she was born here. She was born. And it's so crazy that when I look at her and I look at the others, she's the most confident.
Mm.
She has my shit talk. You get me?
Yeah.
But she has articulation. She's extremely articulate. She puts together ideas. And it's crazy. She thinks like me.
Oh.
She comes up with her own little theories. Like foundation people. What's foundation people? She said, they're not white, Daddy. They're not black. And they're not Spanish. They have foundation. I said, what is that? She's like in the tutorial. She was watching these YouTube kids makeup tutorial.
Yeah.
The color of foundation. She was talking about Asian Indian kids. They were Indian, and she was calling them foundation. I guess she mixed Asian and the color of foundation, the makeup stuff. So she was like, there. She was calling. She came up with her own theory.
Yeah, she brought it together herself.
She brought it together, and she does that. You know what I'm saying? That. Look. About when she was 2.5, 3, right? I had to. When I was outside, blowing in the morning, I had to close the shades. Why? Because I would always have coffee in the morning and have that thing with me, right?
Yeah.
And she said, Mommy, Daddy's having his coffee sticks.
Association.
Motherfucking coffee sticks.
Association. That's how people remember things. So it's how your like you say, web, that's what your brain does. So her mind isn't clouded. This is all new information, She don't got 30, 40 years of, other shit in there. It's just all fresh. So she can just connect it all the way.
Right. But the thing is, she gleaned, like, from being around me, she did that. And at the same point where I would feel a certain level of joy, right?
Yeah.
On the other side, it's almost like, damn, man, I denied my others this. You get what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it's wild because I'm like,
that's heavy.
It's real though, because I'm like she's my ace, bro. You know what I'm saying? Well, she'll come, she'll be like, I'm upstairs in one of the guest rooms and stuff, and then after we finish broadcasting, she'll be up. You're up. She's like, hey, Daddy, I'm so proud of you. You doing on your lives, Daddy. You're awesome. You can do it. Yo, no, she don't watch this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she don't watch this. But her mom's Bluetooth was out yesterday, right? Because she couldn't find her Bluetooth. Her mom ended up having a speaker, and then she took it off her speaker because she was like, why is King talking to that lady like that? That's not nice. Yo, she's all in it, man. You understand what I'm saying? Like she's all in it,
It
man.
was invested. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, and it's like when I think about it, even us venturing into this conversation, it's about how present that we are in terms of what we deliver to our kids, man. What we deliver to our kids, it's important because it has such an impact. And when I see her, as I see her move, and I see the level of confidence, she choreographs her own dances and all of this stuff. When I look at it, it's like, man, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know,
Tell me something, OG. And this is personal to me, right? I got into it with my last old lady, right? Because I told her my situation. And I said, these my babies. That's how I refer to them. When I walk in the door, what's up, babies? Where y'all at? And she wanted to make sure I understood that we was going to have our own kids and those weren't my children. And that was almost the end of our relationship at the end at that conversation. But I had to let her know so hard that how I felt so she could understand that, yo, this is a part of the deal. You understand? I'm not gonna leave these kids never. Until they now if they don't need me and somebody's there to stand in and make sure that they're all right and I approve of how it's moving, then I'll move on and do my thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'll just make sure I check in on them and make sure they're all right. They have an open line to me. But as it stands, they ain't got no problems. I'm right here. So I wanted to make sure that was clear and we worked it out and it was all good. But then, I mean, I never, Unc brought that out. I never meant to necessarily speak on that, but I ain't ashamed of that at all. So when you say you got daughters and I say no, even though I claim them as my own, and I would never let them hear me not claim them as my own. You know what I'm saying?
right?
I I immediately separated to say like, nah, I don't. I'm raising, but I don't got none, but I do. So why my brain doing that? Why is it necessary for me to verbalize it that way and make a distinction as if it wasn't a thing?
You asking me?
Yeah, that's a question.
I don't believe that you always have to verbalize certain things.
Okay.
The verbal versus the lessons make a difference.
Okay.
Some folks will want you to provide lessons in the same manner that they do, and if you're not, they feel that you're not as them. If you have a certain relationship with, say, your child, and your child doesn't live with you, and say you might speak to them twice a week on, or 3 times a week. I'm just making an example. Monday, Thursday, and Saturday or something. And you may cover a lot of conversation, and you may actually make yourself available to them, but make those conversations, you have some real stuff. What'll end up happening is you may have a situation where the mother of the child is like, you don't call them enough
Hmm.
because she may have called, on a more consistent basis than you. But then again, the content of what she was bringing may
Hmm.
not have been as diverse you know, and touch so many points as you.
Okay.
You know, what's going to be important is, and I'm speaking from my own personal stuff, it's going to be important for that person who's with you to understand you, right?
Okay.
But in order for it to work, the crazy thing is, you can't be the ninja that they left or who left her. You have to find a way to juxtapose yourself as weird as it sounds. You got to remind her of the ninja she fell in love with before the baby came. It's important for you to remind her of that person and not the end person. Because if you remind her of that, those are going to be the kind of images and the ideas that she's going to be putting in that child's head when you're not there. And that's also going to help or determine the kind of relationship, you know, that she's going to have with you in terms of being your partner, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I kind of stopped when I had said that thing earlier about the thing with King with my daughter because she's around grown-ups. So she had said that, you know, she's like, "Why you speak to her like that?" I said, "No, sometimes you have to speak loud for people to understand, you know."
Mm.
She wasn't listening, baby. That's okay, okay? She's like, "Well, I like King." I was like, "He's good. He's a good person. He's your friend." I said, "Yeah." But it's how we respond to things. How you see what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
happened to hear some
Peep,
adult
peep,
shit.
peep, peep, peep the energy.
She happened to right because remember, me and this guy speak hours in a day. So you get what I'm saying? So she never saw that. So now, so with her, I had to kind of at that point it was like shit. I had to kind of give it a lesson. Sometimes there's some motherfuckers you got to scream at, yo. But I framed it as it's just to make them hear better, sweetheart. It's to make them hear better, you know.
Hey.
But yeah, man, it's these kids, man. You know, this session tonight, I was gonna theme it. But when I say theme it, put certain specific topics or follow-up topics, kind of like we do it for the post-game joint. I wasn't trying to do all of that, man, because I just wanted to let y'all kind of determine the flow of it, you know. But yeah, I definitely owe Vic a steak, and we ain't going to Smoky Bones since you only live about 20 minutes from me. We're going to eat good, trust that. But
Say
yo, I
that.
got another soldier on the spot, popped in, my man. Afi, what it do?
Afi.
What's up, bro? What's going on, y'all?
What's going
Okay,
oh,
he on cam now.
oh, he's in his sound stage.
Yeah,
Tag it up.
just what's going on? I heard my man. He was going through some kind of stuff that I hear all the time, man. So I just, it triggered me, because that's, the relationships, they can be hard, and trying to keep up the roller coaster. You know what I mean? We naturally get comfortable and expectations of what people should and should be doing versus, so it could be, God damn it.
Hey.
Afi's Kennel. Welcome to Afi's Kennel.
Right. Yep. So just want to just show my support, man. That's
Yo, I sincerely appreciate the love, my G.
Yeah.
You got daughters, Afi?
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Do you have any daughters?
I don't have no kids, period, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just live like this. I don't have no kids.
Smart. Well, except the ones in your lap right now.
Okay.
You know it. How long you gonna be on live?
Man, I was jumping on for an hour, and I said I was gonna do it organically, depending on when some of this food got back to the crib. I wanted to make
sure. A whole thing in the oven right now. If whenever you get off, it just DM me on Instagram, because I'm at my boy having an open panel, so you can join us. You know what I'm saying? Usually it's my co-host, but we doing it on his channel right now. So, but it's open. We talking about and I'm not promoted. I'm just telling you.
No, you go ahead, man. No. Go ahead, you please. I want you to promote your stuff, family. Go ahead, man.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, y'all subscribe to Afi Kingdom Podcast. Follow me, but yeah, we're gonna do it at 6. 20 minutes. So then that's why I'm sitting down right here because I'm, getting this shit all together. So yeah, but we're gonna talk about what type of women we like. So it's kind of open topic, for people and stuff. So I hit you off with the link and shit. Just hit me on Instagram and stuff. And you could chop it up with me and my brother AV. You should follow him too. He a cool cat. We the OG cats of the spirit, man. It's a young man's game. We the 40-year-old guys in this shit.
Hey, who you telling, man? Who you telling? Hold on, we got what's up, sister Claire 76? Shouting us out. She in the UK right now.
Sister Claire.
She said it's 1:40 a.m. in the UK.
What up in the U?
What up, sis?
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. That is
it's
wicked.
Crazy, man. You reaching across the waters.
It's funny. The thing is, when I was looking at my analytics, right, when I was around 100 something, it said that I had 1.2% of my engagement came from the UK, and I was like, oh, that's. If any of y'all remember who Simon is, Simon Hecht. I was like, oh yeah, that's Simon.
Yeah, that's right on Simon.
That's why I used to take it serious. When I start getting cats hit me up from out the country, I was like, well, this is pretty fucking cool, bro. Like before, I was just like, oh, it's cool, it's fun. I could talk to my phone and get a little feedback. But then when I start consulting cats and they're like, I'm in Africa, I watch your content. I'll be like, oh, this is a real thing, man. And it's just the whole vibe of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all check in with me. Let me eat before I start this show because
you know what it is. Hey, I appreciate you coming through, my bro.
The show.
Thanks for coming through, Afi.
Just hit me on the IG and I'll send y'all the link right over.
You know what it is.
Definitely, I got you. Thank you for dropping through.
The show.
Peace.
Love, respect.
That's cool. That's cool. The OG came through to show some love. Show some love.
I wanted to see if we could hit one more topic that while we was on the subject.
Come on, come with it.
And it made me think a lot, because I think that here's the question. Could you get over a betrayal of trust? And if so, does the degree of betrayal matter?
Could you get over a betrayal of trust? And if so, could the betrayal matter? Or could the degree matter?
Yeah, the degree of it.
The degree of that betrayal matter. Yes, I can get over a betrayal. I'm giving the first part, not just the end part. The first part, could I get over a betrayal? Yes, I could get over a betrayal. I believe that even though we seek to be totally honest and we seek to be truthful, I think that to some degree, we don't always be as honest as possible. Say that I have trust issues. You could say I have trust issues. So when I come to the table, I expect to be some level of dishonesty. Not necessarily big ass bold faced lies, but what do people do? When you start a relationship or you start dating, motherfuckers lie. It's not always the building big stories, but something as simple as lying by omission. Right? People forget lying by omission. Well, you said all of this different stuff, but you left out pertinent details that would skew the perception of what you look like. Lying by omission. So they always tell you when you meet somebody, you're not actually meeting the true them. You're meeting their representative. You're meeting their manager. You're meeting that person that's there to represent them in the best, in the best way.
Right.
If you agree that you're meeting a motherfucking representative, then you're understanding that it's not going to be a whole bunch of honesty, right? So there's certain levels of dishonesty that I expect. What I believe is that as the relationship moves through its tiers on the love spectrum, then honesty becomes more and more and more required. There's gonna be dudes that will lie to a chick. You got Lamar creating a name. You got Lamar. There's a girl named Jenny and a girl named Pam. Jenny, she got the big breast, the big booty. She wear the booty shorts in the hood with the high heels. Whoo, she could get it. She could get it. That's Jenny. Pam, she's valedictorian of her class. She's beautiful. She has a dope proportioned body. She's pretty, but she's also educated. She comes from a good family. She's a person that you could see as being a mom, right? As being like a mom. He's going to lie to Jenny to tap that ass quick. Lie as much. Oh yeah, man. Obama's my uncle, man. Yeah, girl, come on. You want to meet him tomorrow? I come to my house tonight, and then we leave in the morning. They're gonna lie all kind of bullshit just to get to that, just to tap that, just to get to the cutty.
Okay.
That's not going to happen with the woman that could be a keeper. That makes sense. It's gonna be a different set. They're gonna lie as well, but that level of honesty is going to come through at some point. Why? Because they know that there's a future and that house of cards will eventually fall. And they know that they would be risking something greater. Makes sense?
You're saying the man would respond that way based on the woman. Is that
I think so. I definitely think so. That a man will determine how he's going to treat based on what he sees as a future. If if the future for him is just him seeing that baddie and he's gonna be out after the nut, then he's gonna say whatever you got to say. If it's about building, all of the things that you say, the information you provide her is cumulative, building off the other information. So they will tend to be a little bit more vulnerable and honest because they see something that's real. That makes sense to you? Or you want to debate it?
Nah, I have to co-sign it. Because it's not that. I guess when you get older in your maturity, like me, for instance, I just avoid certain women altogether. But I know a lot of people who don't. They take in what's going, but when they take it, like you say, intention, they understand that, nah, I ain't nothing there. Now, sometimes it evolves into something else, and that representative wasn't an accurate representative, You met the girl in the club, and nah, she's actually a good girl. She just out with her bad girlfriends. You know what I'm saying? But you was planning on dogging her and not calling her back. You know what I mean? Now you done slipped up on something.
So look, I gotta respect somebody's time over here. We got somebody that right now it's 1:49 a.m. in the UK.
Oh, UK, what's
up? Wagwan, Claire.
Wagwan, you good?
Yeah, man. What's up, girl? What's up, Hi, Flower? Everybody. My UK Flower.
Hi, everybody. You okay?
What's up, love?
Yeah. I want to say firstly, Chef, you're a breath of fresh air, because the nonsense I see on the internet from some of these other content creators, it's just whiling and wasting people's time. And the condition of us is never going to get better unless we start analyzing and addressing and working through what's going on, because times are serious. But as to your topic, can you get over betrayal? Well, I think from a personal point of view, yeah, you can, as long as that betrayal doesn't happen again.
Okay.
So, like in my situation, I met my children's father when I was 19. We've got 3 children. 10 years into the relationship, he cheated. It was a big drama, you know. We did the whole, had to get his mom, come take him out the house. He lost his mind. I run off, the whole full 100. So anyway, we split up, but we got back together. And then roll on 10 years later again. I'd become sick. I've had to have both my kneecaps replaced. I had the first one done when I was 39. So my life changed because I couldn't be that attentive. I'm a old school. I'm 45. I am. I'm old school. So you know, I dealt with the home. I dealt with the kids. I converted to Islam 10 years ago. Did the whole full 100 cover up. You know, never ever stepped out on this man. So I was very unwell and I'd become quite depressed and it became a bit despondent. And also, I went into early menopause. So my whole mindset changed. My libido went, so I weren't interested in sex. And he's a very highly sexed person. Like, if I never had sex with him for like 3 days, it would be a problem. And now he's storming around the house, and my kids are asking me what's why has dad got one on him, and I can't say, well, I never give him no pussy last night. So excuse my language,
You good?
right?
You
You know,
good?
do you know what I mean? But anyway, so I didn't even realize it was my son, my adult son. Our kids, we got two adult children. One's 24 now, one's 23, and we've got a 15-year-old. And so anyway, the 21-year-old, my son, only son, he come to me the one day and he says to me, Mum, I think Dad's cheating on you. I
Oh,
says, really, son? He says, yeah, he's moving like Elliot. Well, Elliot is one of his brethren and he's the community penis, you know. He's he's one of them ones. Right.
the
So
yard
I
boy.
start,
He's hitting for the yard.
yeah, yeah. So I started watching. So I was like, well, go on here. Yeah. So like my partner's a sound man, my ex-partner, I should say, is a sound man, with Jamaicans, so he plays bashment music, reggae music.
Mhm.
So I start watching this man now. Tuesdays are coming now, and certain time he's getting showered, dressed, going out, not coming back till late, not answering the phone, not coming back at all. Starts not coming back at all. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck this, yeah, you taking the piss. So I've gone through the phone now because he's dumb and he's got no sense and he's using my old phone and he's still got the same PIN number because
Mm.
he's dumb. Yeah. So I'm lying next to him, yeah. So I've gone through his phone while I'm lying next to him, seen all the evidence, got all the evidence. Not only is he cheating on me, he's cheating on me with a white girl who's like a lot younger than us as well. So I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm out. I warned you the last time. I says to you, you do this to me again, we're over. This man terrorized me, yeah, for a good 8 months. Yeah, it took me ages to get him out. Our son went to jail because he messed up. Yeah, it was just a really horrible time. So the May comes now, and I got really sick. Yeah, I had this condition with my feet where they swelled up. It was called cellulitis, and I got took into hospital, and I had a blood clot in my lung and my leg. So I needed him to watch the younger one. She was only 13 at the time. While I'm in hospital now, I took a turn for a worse, and the blood clot in my lung burst, and I ended up in a coma for 48 days.
Whoa.
I was on a ventilator, yeah. They didn't really think I was going to make it. I had sepsis, all sorts of shit went wrong. While I'm unconscious in the hospital now, yeah, he's moved back in my house, yeah. Dashed out my adult children while I'm dying in the hospital. He's thrown out our adult children, yeah. Had a fight with my son. My daughter's told his mum and dad everything, like basically the whole full 100, everything he's done to me because he did some wicked things to me. And like the betrayal from this one. He lives with her now. Do you know what I mean? He lives with her. Yeah, but he's still phoning me at 11 o'clock, texting me at 11 o'clock. And I message back, are you lying next to your girl? Like, what's your problem? Like, you know what I mean? But no, I think betrayal can be forgiven, but it depends on if you do it again and how you act, because we have to be realistic in life, especially if you're with somebody that you've been with your whole life. You know what I mean? People change. The person I was when I was 19 is not the person I am now at
Oh hell
45.
no! I was the biggest asshole in the world.
You know what I mean? And like now he can see the errors of his ways. Now he's changed. Now he's trying to be a better father to his children. And I allow that because they deserve that. I grew up with three dads. It's a mad situation, right? So like, and none of them have been around. Do you know what I mean? So for
Are you
my
still?
children, pardon?
Are you all still together?
No, we've been split up 2 years now.
Okay.
So I'm not prepared to put myself in that situation again. It's a
I
risk.
noticed something though. I'm sorry for interrupting, Claire.
That's
You
okay.
stated that he's actually doing better, right? You stated that he's being more present with the kids. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think once I was out of the picture, um, it gave him time to just, I think even though, the love didn't stop, I haven't stopped loving him. He hasn't stopped loving me, but we don't work together as a couple. It's toxic. He's very possessive and he doesn't like sharing me even with his own children. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it became. And you can't be that possessive over a person, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to pick you over your children. I'm always going to pick the kids first. You know, they're not somebody else's kids. They're yours, all three of them. Do you know, I made that sure that I only was having one baby father because I come from a situation where I got 9 siblings and none of them are full blood, either same mum or same dad. I've even got a ghetto twin who's 12 weeks older than me. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't want that for my children. I've watched my sister's dad be a dad and I ain't got one. You know what I mean? And I didn't want that. So I think because of that trauma from childhood and not wanting that situation allowed me to stay in the situation I was in longer than I should have because I just wanted to keep that family unit. And he wasn't a drugs man. He went to work and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Played football, all that sort of thing. But still, what we did to each other in the end in the relationship, it became a power struggle, and nobody was backing down. It was like egos at dawn kind of thing. You know what I mean? And he could have kept it going forever, and it was just destroying both of us and everybody around us at the same time. So I think him splitting up with me made him have to grow up. His kids used to call him my fourth child or the eldest child. That's what they used to call him. Where's your eldest child? Not where's my dad? Because that's how he behaved and that's what I did in a way. I mothered him. I also believe in a way at some stage during the relationship, I kind of like emasculated him. Not out of
I was gonna
choice.
ask you.
Yeah, but
I
it wasn't
I
out of
walk right
appreciate
in
the
there.
choice.
honesty. I appreciate the honesty. Go ahead.
Yeah, it wasn't out of choice. It was out of necessity. Because if I hadn't have found a way, then we would have had no lights. We would have had no heat. We would have had no food. So it's not that I wanted to be like that. I wanted him to be the man and step up. You know what I mean? But what am I supposed to do if the kids need shoes and he's just lying down and he's not prepared to do nothing about it? I had to go to work. I had to go and do whatever I've got to do to find the money to keep the lights on. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think this is what happens in a lot of relationships, and they would have lasted longer if it wasn't for that stumbling block, because the need is the need, and it weren't that I wanted lavish and extraordinary things. I weren't looking Birkin bags and crap like that, because I don't give my money to gay white men that don't like black people, right? I'm very cautious about where I spend my money, because as a Muslim, I believe I'll be questioned about that. So, so it weren't for that. It was for the necessities of life, to live, to survive. That's why I ended up having to take that role. And then also, I'm mixed race. Yeah, both of my parents are mixed race too. So like, my mum's half Welsh, which is white, and half Jamaican, and my dad's half Indian and half Jamaican. But I grew up with my white family basically. So I had a different experience to him. His parents are both Jamaicans, came here when they were late teenage, just you know what I mean? And they're a lot older than my parents. So we grew up in two different kind of worlds. So where I'm more articulate and able to work more in the government world, their system. He wasn't able to, he grew up in the inner city, I grew up in the suburbs. He went to, I went to private school, them sort of things. So that difference was a big issue, and it was culture played a big role in it, because I was brought up in a white culture, English culture, and he was brought up in a Jamaican culture. And even though
Yardman things.
Yardy thing, yeah. So like, I had to learn to cook, like, you know what I mean? Because I didn't grow up eating curry goat and yam and green banana and them things there. So, but I can cook it now. I cook it sick. You know what I mean? So it's because, he grew up eating those foods. I was the kind of wife that got up at 11 o'clock, or when he come in from playing his sound at 3 in the morning, and would make him food. I'd make him saltfish and callaloo and fried plantain, fried dumpling for
Wait,
his
you trying to get
breakfast.
that chef on the low? What's up? Just say it.
Yeah.
Stop, hey.
So, like,
Hey, she laying at the breakfast menu.
Okay,
like,
she said,
yeah.
Look, watch this.
And
So,
a bake.
look, some girls will pull up this and just show you some leg, right? She's showing chef the breakfast menu.
Yeah.
Smart.
and a baked cake too.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Claire, real quick.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
spoke about when you found out that the first time you found out that there was something going on, that your oldest son brought it to you. Is that correct?
That was the second time. That was the second time. Yeah. Yeah, my only son, our only son, yeah.
Did you have signs before that you knew something was already up?
Yeah, I had an idea that there was something, but I'd questioned him and he told me I was being paranoid. So, and because I wasn't doing too well emotionally at that time, I did question myself, was I going crazy? I even went and see my doctor, you know what I mean, to see if I needed to take medication and stuff like that. I really did. He really manipulated me so badly, and then, like, once my son says that, there was just a succession of things that just he kept being caught out. He even had a pocket call one time, and he called me, but he didn't know.
Ass dialing, boy.
Butt dialing, motherfuckers on demise.
That destroys countries. That destroys nations, bro.
Butt dialing demise. That's what you.
I heard everything, and I phoned him back, and he was like, "I can't talk." I says, "Well, tell the bitch your wife is on the phone, yeah." You know what I mean? But like, not being funny, but I tell him he has to treat her right, yeah, because I don't want him coming back round here, yeah. So I feel sorry for her. But, we co-parent for our kids because they deserve to have, you know, decent. I don't belittle him in front of them, and he don't do that to me in front of them now. And we got a grandchild as well. So, but our eldest daughter won't speak to him. She took it the worst.
Mm,
She's
I noticed
24.
that daughters
She
do
took
take
it.
it the worst.
She ripped him a new arse as well. Yeah, and she's like him. She's stubborn, so she won't speak to him.
Is she the
And
one that's closest? Is she the daughter that's closest to you?
no, she is now. Well, she's had the baby, but she's always been all for him. She's my firstborn.
daddy's
She's
girl.
always been his child. She used to tell on me. She used to tell tales on me. Do you know
Oh
what I
yeah, that's
mean?
daddy's girl. That's daddy's girl.
That's daddy's girl
Yeah,
for real.
yeah, she would
He broke her
report.
heart too.
My daughter would
Yeah,
be on that. She'd be like, "Dad, mommy's being really rude. You need
yeah,
to talk to her."
yeah. I had
Like
to tell her,
5.
but I have had a conversation with her because it can't go on forever. And I had to say to her, look, I know that you're hurt, and I love that you've defended me and all that, but he cheated on me, Bab, not you. So, like, you gotta try
You
and
know
let it
what?
go. But she
Claire.
lets him see her child. She's got no problem with that. We never get the kids involved in adult argument. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. We're not
yeah,
gonna breeze by that. We're not gonna breeze by that. That's not a big thing.
Talk
I
about
don't know.
that, Vic.
I don't know if you know the magnitude of what you
Yo,
just
hold it
said.
down real quick, Vic. I had to step
I
away for a
got
second, bro. Cool.
all right.
mm,
The magnitude of what you just said. When there's so many broken relationships that leave split family homes, in particular in the Black community, and you
yeah,
have mother versus father, and there's bad blood. But a lot of times, the mothers will pit their kids against their fathers, or the fathers will pit their kids against their mothers and tell them, all of the
yeah,
ugly truths. Well, you did quite the opposite, no matter how hurt you were, and you saw the relationship and the bond between your ex and his daughter, and you saw the value in that. And even though she was defending you and it broke
yeah,
her own reasons, you knew that that relationship needed to be repaired, and she didn't need to sit in that. And that
yeah.
was a major honorable thing to do. As being the
Oh,
elder.
thank you.
In my opinion. Now, this is just my opinion, but we need
Mm.
more people and more mothers who are in tune with their daughters as well and their emotions.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, and like she's 24 now, she's an adult, she's a mother herself, but she still needs her parent. She still needs her parents, and I gave 21 years to this, yeah, and it wasn't for no reason. I wanted them to have a dad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if that means that for them to have a dad, I don't have him, then that's fine. I'd rather them have a dad than me have him, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So, like, she will come around. It's getting a bit better,
Okay.
but I have to just let it. I don't over push it. I don't say, oh well, if you don't talk to him, like some mums try and give the whole, if you don't do this, then I'm not gonna do that. We don't do all that. I don't do all that. I think I come from a household where emotional abuse was used in a big way, and I've really worked hard not to emotionally abuse my children. I've made mistakes, don't get me wrong, and they're very vocal, so they've come and told me all about them. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
like my 15-year-old, she's with her dad now at his house with the woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
And
got
what am I supposed to say? No, you can't go there. The woman hasn't done me nothing. I
you.
refuse, I had to say to his sisters, don't be horrible to her. She never cheated on me, he did. Do you know what I mean? So what you're gonna
Yeah,
be
his
horrible?
family.
What you're gonna be horrible to her for? That's unfair. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not in nothing with her, and we're not about to be sitting down playing no happy families like that. But my daughter should be able to wake up in the morning with her dad, same way she wakes up in the morning with me. She did for 13 years, the youngest one, and the big one left home and her dad was at home. Do you know what I mean? So, like, why shouldn't they have that just because we're not together? What, because he's with another woman or is with the woman he cheated on me with? That would just be me being petty and being in my feelings and not
Let me ask you a
taking
question,
my daughter's well being into consideration. Yeah,
Claire. Let me ask
yeah.
you, have you forgiven him?
Yeah, I've forgiven him. I've forgiven him. He sat by my bed every day for 48 days while I was in that coma. Yeah.
I
Do
gotta
you know
ask
what I
you now.
mean?
Hold on one second,
It's like he begged me not to. He begged me to let him stay. He
sorry.
promised me. He promised me everything. The cat, the dog, the whole lot. Do you know what I mean? He promised me everything, but I can't take that risk again. And it's not just the cheating; it was his behavior as well. Do you
Okay,
know what I mean?
I
I
got a
know.
So,
question for you,
like,
Claire.
yeah,
So you said something that's real. You know, a lot of times families, we hear families or women flowers that talk about, you know, he left or talked about the things that he did and they were going through certain things and he didn't even give a damn. He was out at the club, he was out doing this and that with this and that person when I was in my most vulnerable stage. You hear the stories. You know,
yeah,
he's out partying when she was in labor and delivery. You know,
yeah,
she was, sickly somewhere, and he was out kicking it out of town. The thing is, what kind of struck me was that you stated that when it came to that pivotal point, that he went and he sat by your bedside for
Mm,
48 days. Now, I'm not defending any of his previous actions, right?
yeah,
I want you to understand that because he didn't deserve, what you received. And I believe that in terms of
mm,
cheating. Cheating is, when you breach any agreement that you and that person have, knowingly breach that
yeah,
agreement. So he breached that agreement. So that was his crime. We're human, right? So
yeah.
now, what I say to you is this: when faced with that situation, and then you saw that man sit with you for 48 days, did it tell you that he loves you?
Yeah, yeah, I know he loves me. The
So,
love wasn't an issue. Him loving me isn't an issue. He loves me now. I could have him now. If I phoned him now
mm,
and said, come home, he'd come home. It was his behavior. And until he's ready to address that behavior, it could never work. How he treated me was disgusting. I'd been home 3 weeks, yeah. I discharged myself from the hospital. So I woke up on day 48, yeah, in ICU. And I couldn't move. I had a tube in my throat and I couldn't speak. And I was paralyzed for the first week. And when they gave me the valve in my mouth, that's when he told me about all the drama and that he'd had a fight with my son. Because they put me in a coma on my son's 21st birthday as well. So you can imagine I'm feeling extreme mom guilt. Yeah, right. I've just found out I've been asleep for 48 days. I'm feeling mom guilt bad. Do you know what I mean?
right, no
So
doubt.
when uh, I was in hospital all in all for 5 months. So in the end, I discharged myself because what I was doing at hospital, I could do at home. So, but I was still in quite a bad way. I needed help getting up off the sofa. I needed help up the stairs, in the shower, the whole lot. So week 3 came now. I'm only 6.5 stone. Yeah, right. Remember, I've told you I'm going through menopause, yeah? Right?
Mhm.
So, this is a topic that I'm looking to do some kind of show on menopause because we need to have a serious conversation with the men about it. Yeah. So, anyway, things happen and your sex drive goes. I literally would have rather have jam on toast. You
Wait,
call
I
it
want to
porridge.
just, I got to pause you for a moment. I got to pause you for a moment. You know, we always want this to be educational, but it's important because right now you're one of the highlights on the show, and I want them to understand what you just said. All right. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, flowers and rocks, Claire stated that at some point her weight reached 6.5 stone. Six and
Mm,
a half stone. Okay. When you convert 6.5 stone to, you know, our weighting system, that equates to 91 pounds.
Mm, mm,
So,
mm,
for the records, for those of you that are here in the U.S.,
mm.
continental U.S., she's stating that her weight dropped to 91 pounds. I
Mm,
just wanted to make sure they got the
mm,
full perspective on that.
mm,
Claire, do your thing. Go
mm.
ahead.
So he starts pressuring me for sex. Yeah, right. So I try, but it's not working. Yeah, it's just not working. It's like it just died. Yeah, it's like it's just not working. It's saying do not enter, do not pass go, nothing at all. You know what I mean? And it
Right.
was excruciating, like I'm crying and that. So a couple of days later now, we're lying in bed and he says to me, if you don't start dealing with me, I'm gonna have to go and find it somewhere else. I says, really? He went, yeah, I'll have to go back to the girl. I says, well, when you go back here, make sure you take all your clothes, yeah? Right. He says, what? I says, yeah, you gotta go. I was just so hurt that he couldn't just give me some time. You know what I mean? Like that sex was the main thing. Here we go again. It's all over sex. Yeah. So I says, he had to go. Do you know what I mean? I just couldn't get my head around it. I'm dealing with the fact that I've nearly died. Yeah. I've just, the whole Zolin just closed over in my throat. I can't move good. I can't stand up and cook. I can't shower by myself. I'm having to I've had to learn to talk again. I've had to learn to stand up and walk again. I'm paralyzed in my foot now. Um, and I have to use a wheelchair when I go shopping. You know what I mean? So like I was absolutely heartbroken that he couldn't just give me some time and I kept saying to him, I just need a bit of time. And he was like, how long? And it's like he wanted a fucking date. Sorry about my language. He wanted like a date, a time frame, and I couldn't give it him. You know what I mean? And I'm still hurting because I know that or it's still fresh. We were split up 5 months ago, and if this hadn't happened, you wouldn't even be in the house. That's how I'm thinking. You know what I mean?
mm,
Then that night, I go through his phone. He's only still chatting to the girl all the way through while I've been in the hospital. The whole way through, he's still been linking the girl, chatting to the girl. I'm finding out now he's dropping my daughter at anywhere we can drop her and getting off. Do you know what I mean? Saying he's coming to the hospital. Well, I can't say whether he come or not because I was a bloody sleep. Do you know what I mean? He stopped going work. I'm saying to him, why did you stop working? I've woke up, he's got no money. They- They're telling me there's no shopping. The internet's off. I'm thinking, what the fuck? This is what I'm waking up to. The washing machine's broke. Like, my son's sleeping on my mum's living room floor because he's kicked him out. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, what the hell? Then 3 weeks after I get home, he's on about sex. I was like, nah, you've got to go. And
Flower,
that was it. We done.
Flower Claire, I gotta
Mm,
ask you because at this point, he's not a rock in our garden, right?
mm,
You're a flower within our garden, and it's
mm,
at some point I understand the pain and the stress that you've gone through. So
Mm,
my question is, because we got to go back to Brother Vic's action steps.
yeah,
What? Let's talk about what can we do. When I say we, that
yeah,
includes you. When I work in corporate America, I don't tell them this is what you need to do. When I'm talking to an employee, what I say
yeah.
is, well, what do we need to do to get you to be better at this particular thing or put you in a better place? What do we, that means, say, you, Vic, and I, if we were
Mm,
one brain melded together,
yeah.
but I want you to speak to it. What can we do to put you in a better place? Because everything that you listed was that it was it was a relationship built on dependency.
Yeah,
And not your
codependency.
dependency, but his dependency on you.
Both of us. Codependency is an illness that runs in families, and codependency comes in all sorts of forms. And I'm what's called the
Enabler.
caretaker. Yeah, I'm the
Never.
caretaker. Yeah, and I went into therapy for codependency. They've got like
Well, you said,
hearing.
I got to interrupt you though. You said codependency.
Yeah,
Codependency. But you so far have only listed his dependence variable. What
Mhm.
is
yeah.
yours?
Mine was because I didn't think I could get anybody else. No, mine was I didn't think I could do it by myself. Even though I
Companionship.
was, even though I was doing it by myself, I was
I also
doing
think
everything, financial, taking care of the kids, looking after the home. I didn't feel like I was able to maintain that by myself, even though I was, you know. And also, I loved him straight up, love and lust.
that's
Do you know
honest.
what I mean? Love and lust. I haven't been with nobody else since we split up. You know what I mean? Because I'm not very promiscuous anyway. But like, it's not that I'm saving myself for him. It's just that I needed to get some time to get to know me. Like when I found out he was having an affair, I thought, oh, okay then. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have an affair with myself, and that's what I did. I had an affair with myself, and I got to know myself, and I started doing more things that Claire would like, not being Claire and Dave or Claire and the kids or mom or a sister or just Claire.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time healing past trauma from the acts, being unwell. I've took time out to actually address some of that and learn to heal from it. So I'm in a much better place now. But the dependency, I think, is because, like I says, it goes back to how I says I felt like I emasculated him because he wasn't able to get the resources as readily as I was able to get the resources without him doing a crime. If you get what I mean. It was harder for him to get paid work, even though he had more qualifications than me. I didn't pass high school, but he did. Do you know what I mean? You
Mhm.
call it a GED, we call it GCSEs. So yours is like just one main exam that covers everything, where we have an exam for each subject. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'd been kicked out before that, so I didn't get to sit no exams. But he got top exams. Do you know what I mean? He played basketball for England schoolboys right up until he was 17. Do you know what I mean? He's been all around the world. But when it came to getting a job, it's that black man barrier, even though he's got an English name. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's still it's still harder. It's not as hard as what I see in America per se, but we still have that. And back then, 20 years ago, definitely. Do you know what I mean? It was a lot harder for them to get forward. So we could have the same amount of job interviews in 1 week. I've been offered 3 of the jobs. He's not
Nice.
even got a call back. Do you know what I mean?
So listen,
So
I got to stop you because here's why I got to stop you. You can definitely list a lot of the things out, right? But I want to bring it back because in terms of you and your personal healing, you know, we talk about regret for things that happen. There's levels of sorrow. One of the
yeah,
things that I
I
use
know
for
what my
myself.
part. Yeah, I know where my part is.
Exactly, and that's the part I was going to talk about, which is self-recrimination. That's how I
Yeah,
get over my stuff. When some stuff happens to me, instead of me sitting there and looking out at the other people out there and blaming the environment, I look for the reason for myself. I take
I
personal
mean,
accountability piece to everything every day with the real long accountability.
always.
But like Dr. Jordan Peterson says, when we're holding the
I
world
love
accountable,
him.
yeah, first thing we have to do is clean up what?
Your own
Our
backyard.
own room.
That's right.
Right. So in terms of that personal accountability, you and I have to talk now about that magical soul within the body of Claire.
Yeah.
So he he was there with you when you were at your worst, when you were in that limbo nether world between this earthly form and your creator, right?
Yeah.
And he was there with you all of that time. But during that time, you stated that he didn't do any of the necessary things. But in terms of the amount of time you and I, all three of us have been talking,
Mm,
it did not seem like he ever functioned in a provider fashion.
never.
So what I say to you, and this is one of those things when you're just by yourself, you don't even have to respond to it if
Mm,
you don't want to. I want you to kind of think about the things that you may have done or what you allow, because there's a theory that I use when I grew managers and executives,
mm,
especially ones that will have to have people reporting to them. I let
mm.
them know that what you permit is what you promote.
Mm.
Yeah,
What
definitely.
you permit is what you promote.
I
Part of
became a
leadership.
victim.
Sorry, go ahead.
I, I played the victim role very well. Yeah. And I allowed it basically. I allowed a lot of behavior that wasn't acceptable that should have been stopped right then. But I always forgave. I always had that hopium where, you know,
I'm going
next
to
time,
imitate him. I'm going to
yeah,
imitate the character that you built.
yeah,
That character with all of the characteristics that you stated and what took place with you and him and everything. Now I'm going to
mm,
imitate him right now for a second, right?
mm.
Look, you wanted bloody companion. You see, I said bloody.
Back it
Bruv,
off.
bruv. Listen. So
Eh,
it's like, look, you wanted companionship, and I gave you companionship.
yeah.
You were sick, and I was there. You let me do such and such and such. Now you want to change the game?
Yeah, but cheating wasn't allowed.
Okay, granted.
So that's why that was the main.
Remember, this was just a question. I'm not taking on
Yeah,
his feelings.
because like, as he got older, and as we got older, certain things he didn't go out and play his music as much, so that was better. He did have a job, so he was sort of like, he was putting towards stuff. He wasn't doing his fair share, but he wasn't doing absolutely nothing like some years where it was zero. Um, so I had that hope that, we'd get a better job. The kids were getting older. I had that hope that we'd start to have more
Hope.
time, yeah, to do what we was doing. And to be fair, if he'd have just slipped in a girl when he was out, yeah, one night playing his music and some girls put it on him and he's fucked up, yeah, I could understand because I was sick, you know what I mean? And I wasn't giving him the attention he was used to. Do you know what I mean? And I
Yeah, no
can admit
treats.
that I wasn't, you know what I mean? It for me it become a bit of a chore. Do you know what I mean? So like, I can understand that, you know what I mean? But it was that he had an affair 6 months. You know what I mean? This girl was in love with him. He had another female in love with him. He's chatting to this
Emotional
girl while he's
attachments.
lying next to me. It was a total disrespect as well. The total disrespect. It was disrespectful. Do you know what I mean?
He
And
did it in
like,
front of me.
he did it in front of me. He lied. He lied because I asked him. I told him just be truthful. He lied. He even wanted me to kick our son out. Yeah. He came when I'm not living here if he's living here. I says, well, you better go to your mum's and innit? And he was like, what? I says, well, you're gonna have to leave, innit? And I carried on watching the TV that night. But this man's crazy.
So
Do you know what I mean?
he leveraged your companionship with your son being able to occupy the house. All right. So listen.
Yeah.
So look, at this point,
Mm.
I feel strongly about that. Let's start talking about action steps. What what's the best way to say it? What do you see your desired future to be? And I don't mean with him.
Mm.
I just mean your what is your goal? What are your goals at this point?
Mm.
And then
My
I'm gonna
goals
ask you
at
another one
this,
after this question, after you
yeah,
answer.
my goals at this point is to keep the inner peace that I found. Um, I'd like to be running my own business within the next 5 years. I want to work for myself because I'm disabled, so I need to work from home. Um, my health at the moment is my main issue, so I'm due for some surgeries. So it's like things are a bit on hold. Um, I'm 2 years out of the coma now, and for the first year, I couldn't really think straight. I couldn't watch a TV program, or I couldn't read, or I couldn't just I couldn't. It, I found it really hard to make a decision.
Mm.
It took a lot of time for me to be able to get used to being on my own as well. So like, I hadn't been a single parent up until 2 years ago, So that was a real big adjustment. Also, because in the end of our relationship it had become quite volatile and he was quite aggressive a lot of the time. Um I
Physical?
used to, yeah, it could be sometimes, yeah. Um because I lived on adrenaline. So I'd hear the car pull up, my adrenaline would kick in. I'd start telling the kids, move this, move that. I lived like that. So like them first few months of not having that adrenaline rush was really hard to. It was really weird. Now when I do get an adrenaline rush because I really don't like it, I'm like, oh no, and I can literally calm myself down out of it, so, in some ways as well, because I'm not prepared to have them feelings because it gives me a physical reaction where I physically shake. You know what I mean? So like, yeah.
Talk to me.
So it's been a
What's up
lot
with
of
your princess?
pardon.
What's up with your princess? Because of course we're adults. We did our
Mm,
time on this crazy planet. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
we definitely have to hedge for the future. So talk to
yeah.
me about your princess. How do you feel that she's coming through this, and how do you feel that she's
Well,
handling
my
that
my
situation?
I've got two. My eldest one, like I said, she took it the hardest with me and him splitting up. Although she was very, very annoyed because they were very angry at him in the end because of how he treated me really bad in the end. And I allowed it. She was angry at me because I allowed it. And one of the reasons as well is why I fixed up is because She got her boyfriend when she was 13. We didn't want her to have a boyfriend, but it was safer to just do it all above board. We met the parents, the whole full 100. There was rules. Anyway, roll on 10 years. They're still together, and she's having a baby. So she got pregnant at 21. So they've been together since they were 13. They got pregnant at 21. Um, and within 6 weeks of her having the baby, they were over. Yeah.
Jeez.
So then they got back together. Obviously, when I got sick that same year, basically. So the baby was born in October. I got sick the following May. They got back together the following year. And then by the end of that year, when I'd come out of hospital, it was properly over. And he really acted out really bad. She had to get the police on him and that. And I think me putting her dad out really helped. But the year before that, I
Wait,
was a
wait, wait. You
mess
can't jump over that. You putting her dad out, it really helped. How?
because it showed her that she didn't have to sit in it. I didn't want her to do me.
Okay, boom. That's what I'm talking about.
How we
'Cause
talking?
listen, no disrespect. No. You got a lot going on, but I had to, snatch the meat, spit
But
out the
can I
bone.
tell you something? Can I tell you something?
Talk to
She'd
me.
said to me at the year before that. My son had got into trouble. Yeah, and he went to jail. I didn't expect him to go to jail. First time ever in trouble. He was 19. First time ever in trouble. Yeah. And he went to jail. He was there for 11 months. And I was a total mess the whole time he was there. I'd split up with the dad. Everything was a drama. She was pregnant. She'd moved back home. And the one day, I said something to her, and she says to me, "How can I come to you with my problems when you can't even control your own life?" Yeah. And that really struck a chord with me. That made me sit down and reevaluate my whole situation,
She's
because
a soldier. You've been
I
blessed.
had I had to say to myself, you know what, I'm gonna have to fix up because I ain't failing her because I can't control my emotions, basically. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons that I decided that I was gonna make him go. Do you know what I mean? And that I was gonna break away because I had to show them some strength. You know what I mean? I'd
Yo,
become a
finally,
doormat.
man. Finally, listen. And I'm a Brooklyn, New York dude. That's like the U.S. Brixton, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
or
gonna
the
tell you
Birm
this.
or the Birmingham Handsworth, because I'm in
Exactly,
Birmingham.
Hansworth. So I'm gonna say
And
this.
Places up,
I'm
I
gonna
know.
talk like a Brooklyn dude. Man, yo, that was a lot of shit you were going through, man. But
yeah,
we came back around because he and I were talking about daughters and
yeah.
finding that point of resonance. The, the,
Mm.
the beauty of it, when I
My
asked about
youngest
your
daughter,
daughter,
my youngest daughter and him are like so close. I
you
gave birth
succeeded.
to the
You succeeded. And that's
yeah,
that's the beautiful moment because she was able. Remember, we talked about my daughter being able to see myself move around,
mm,
being my road dog, and seeing her mother and I, you know, interacting and all of that. And what she learned, the beauty of it is because if we can't find shit within ourselves, man, we got to find something within our children. The fact that you stated that she saw the kind of things, and you said it. I didn't want to allow you to just gloss over it because it's a
yeah.
positive. You said that her seeing
Sorry.
you having the strength to handle her dad the way that you did, given the dynamic, and when you saw she was faced with a similar situation, that she had a degree of strength in order to handle it, and
Yeah,
she told you was by virtue of what she saw from you. You got to take that kudo. When I
thank
get
you.
one stranger in this crazy YouTube world tells me that they were impacted positively or moved by something that I said, it means a lot to you, a lot to me. For you, You know, we always talk about the negative things that go on, the stress. Sometimes we got to find that positive, and within
Yeah,
the craziness that is your life in terms of what you describe,
yeah,
that's a positive window that she saw it, and she's basically letting you know, look, man, I'm not going through that shit, man. You did
yeah.
that, but you know, I seen you handling. I'm not going through that. And
That's it.
sometimes that's a blessing that we have to absorb and understand and be happy with, because at least you know. You remember they talk about the smart man and the wise man and learning from the mistakes of others.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. I tried to stop cycles that have been running in my family for generations. When
Hmm.
it comes to my children, we weren't doing that. You know what I mean? And I always told them just because we live in the hood doesn't mean we have to act like like ratchet, like we got no, like we
Right.
ain't got no books in our house. Do you know what I mean? And I'm a big reader. I'm a big, big reader, and expanding their minds to the opportunities that are out there, and showing them different things that aren't just the normal mainstream, like sports and stuff like that. Different things. My youngest wants to be a scientist. She wants to go into biology. Sorry. My eldest has got a degree in human resources and business management. My son's a chef, so he
Listen,
cook.
man. Listen, they're gonna be all right with a mom like you. Even with the issues you are dealing with, they're gonna be all right. My question is now.
Yeah,
Now is
yeah.
about you. How the hell do we get you laid, man? Get you back on the horse,
Ah,
man.
that's what's wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get your ass back on the horse, yo. You
Get
know what
on
I'm
that.
saying? Because you did what you need to do with them, and they're growing healthy and making their moves. What we gonna do? We need to do to be able to rub your feet and read with your ass. You know what I'm saying?
I
What you see
know,
in the
but
future for yourself, because you
yeah,
obviously have a ton of life left within you.
yeah, definitely, definitely. I do
Man,
want to,
let me ask. Do you
Yeah, go
get
ahead,
yeah.
man.
massages? Do you get massages?
No,
Get a
no,
professional massage. Treat
yeah,
yourself.
okay, yeah, definitely,
It's
definitely. I'll
touching.
do that. I'll do that. Yeah, at the moment, I'm just indulging in being able to be and do. I feel a lot of gratitude because I survived some things that, some people, well, the pulmonary embolism is a 1% survival rate, basically, and sepsis hasn't got a very good survival rate either, and I had that too. So I'm very grateful to just be here. And I do indulge in just being the mum and the nan at the moment. I look after my grandson 3 nights a week while she works.
Mm.
I I don't know, I get pleasure out of when they say, Mum, that brown stew chicken was the one. You gotta cook that again.
Okay.
Oh, you
You
make
know,
brown stew chicken, mom.
yeah.
That's the
And like,
one.
and like my daughter, I sent her with curry goat and rice on Sunday. Yeah. And then on Monday, I sent, because I'm Indian as well, innit? So on Monday, I sent her with Indian chicken curry with homemade roti and rice, yeah. And they were confused. They was like, hold on, you had Jamaican food yesterday. Today you got roti, like, and they was laughing at her. But yeah, I enjoy it, you know what I mean? And just, I don't know, my grandson just grabbed me the other day and just kissed me out of nowhere. He's 3, you know what I mean? And I think to myself, I've created this. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I've created this. My son's still at home. Doesn't look like he's leaving at any time soon. But
You kicked old boy out. He got to
oh,
stretch out.
I do say to him, like, every time you know what it's like. You're living in a house, it comes to blows sometimes. You know what I mean? And when he's having a moan because he can't find something that he's put down, and somebody's probably moved it because he's left it just hanging around and he's going on with himself. I'm like, well, son, you know what you can do, and the best thing is if you start looking for somewhere to go. But I wouldn't put him out. My mum made me homeless when I was 16, and I got into a lot of trouble. And I've slept in the park, and I've slept in doorways, and
Need to have
do you know
an
what I mean?
episode about that, Chef.
Yeah, so I would never, even if I never chatted to them again in my whole life, yeah, I would never make them homeless. I'd just walk past them in the hallway, and I'd still probably say to them, your dinner's in the kitchen, because I know what it's like to be hungry. You know what I mean? So I think because I experienced those things so early on in life, it made me think of things in a different way. But um, it's a blessing but a curse as well, because I think I'm easily taken advantage of. I can be, because I've got that kind of nature, like that kind of. I can always try and excuse away people's piss poor behavior. You know what I mean? Oh, it's because I don't know.
Is it for
Yeah, you
do
got
you
to get
feel
the
it's
right
for
one.
companionship? Do you feel it's because you like to have people around, or is it loneliness based?
I don't know. I think a lot of it stems from my relationship with my mum. So I think a lot of it's from that. My mum has a mental health condition, and she's had it my whole life. So I spent a lot of time being her sounding board and her shoulder to cry on, and her helper, and the co-parent to my siblings. And so I think I always wanted to try and make sure she was happy. So I've got that kind of, you know, I just want everybody to be happy kind of thing,
Right.
So,
Mother.
yeah, where I didn't even really consider what really makes me happy. It's been like a journey I've been on for, say, 4 years now, where I started to look inside internally. First, I turned to Islam, and that helped in a way that I created a connection with my higher power. So, and I was able to find a peaceful calm and a community as well. Because, like I said, being mixed race and growing up in a community that's not mine, so I would be in a school of 500 students, and I'm the only black one. You know what I mean? I'm the only dark skinned person. I'm the only coloured one. My mum's mixed race, fair skinned. My brother's he's what you would call a throwback. So he's like, even though he's more technically biologically, like DNA wise, more black than me, he's got white skin and like blonde hair and green eyes, but his
Yeah,
hair's
I've had
afro.
friends like that.
His hair's afro hair. He's got freckles. So like, and my mum married a white man. So like, it did stand out kind of thing. And it's something that, and then when we moved like a lot around the country, and then when we moved back to the city, Birmingham, and I was back into where there's people that look like me. They look like me, but I can't relate to them because I don't live in their world, and I don't come from their world. So I'd get called I don't know if you have this chocolate bar in America called Bounty. It's
I remember the Bounty bars. I don't know if they still have them, but I remember
yeah,
Bounty.
it's got coconut, it's white coconut inside and chocolate on it.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
had.
I got.
There was the other one. We had a different name for them too. The one with the coconut and the nuts, and it was a whole bunch of coconut and it was covered in chocolate.
Yeah, well, that's what they used to call me, So God.
Yo, you almost made me spit my shit out, yo.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
look,
Yeah.
used to get picked on from both sides.
they called
So
them
I
here. They called them Oreo. No
Oreos.
disrespect, right? Because of course the outside is brown and then the
Yeah,
inside is the white creamy
yeah,
filling. But
that's
listen,
it.
let me tell you this: you got a lot to unpack, man. But
Oh,
look,
loads,
I
loads.
want
My
you. Here's what I
story's
want you to do.
long.
I would like you, and then listen for the record, man. I want you to understand. I'm not a therapist. I don't have a
Oh yeah,
license.
I get
I
that.
just have a view on the world. I consume information and I just try to keep myself balanced. So I'm not a life coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a dude that has a vision. You get what I'm saying? But,
Yeah.
you know, are you, I don't ask you, you might hit me with a long one and it's almost 10, right? I want to, yes or no, do you have a therapist that you speak to?
No, I've just finished a 12-week therapy course though. Um, uh, called Compassionate Recovery, where it helps you learn to talk to yourself and have a bit more compassion for yourself, you know? So, which has really helped. And I also did an emotional regulation course, which was really, really good. I think is the key player one that's key, being able to regulate your own emotions, you
All right,
know?
can you see the chat? I'm about to put something into the chat for you, right?
I
Only
can't see
because
the main chat. Put it in the chat on the stream because I
oh,
can't
okay,
see
so you're not
the.
able to. I got you. I got you.
Mm,
I got you. Put that there, and
mm,
I'm gonna put it in the private chat as well. So listen,
okay.
we talked a lot. You get what I'm saying? And in
Mm.
terms of what you shared,
Sorry, I took over your show.
no, 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 no. This was your show. What I'm saying is, this was I didn't come here with a theme. To some degree, I like the show to flow organically. I'm gonna have themed shows, but this was Saturday Night Pull Up. I just wanted folks to pull up, and you actually came and you opened, you unlocked your emotional door, and you let us in the crib, and you let us see a whole lot. And I feel as though with everything that you're dealing with, I owe you more than just me getting a couple of likes and getting a couple of subscribers. You get what I'm saying? So I put
No.
that email in there in the private chat so that you send me an email. At some
Yeah.
point, there's more conversation. You get what I'm saying? There's more
Yeah.
conversation that we could have, and I appreciate you, especially from the distance that you came through to
Oh,
open your heart and actually share your vulnerabilities. And you did not, even though you talked about things that took place with you, it's like you were honest enough not to play victim, and I
Love
respect
it.
your gangster for that. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. We have to start. I don't know whether it's because I've reached that age of menopause and I'm 45. I don't know whether it's an age thing or whether it's through what I went through with the coma.
Nah, when you get
Um,
menopause, it don't. When you get menopause, it don't mean your stuff's not working. It just you just need to find a more clever guy.
oh, well, to be honest, I got on the HRT, so it's back all right now. I just need to find a man. You know what I mean? But that will come. That will come. It's cold outside at the moment, man. It's England. It's very cold, man. So,
Claire,
Listen,
Claire,
flower.
let me
Oh, go
make
ahead,
one.
Vic.
Claire, let me make a couple book recommendations for you. Do you read?
yeah, I love to read. It's my thing.
Tell me if you heard of either of these. Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Um, and here's the second one.
Can you
It's by
type it in the chat? Type it in the
I got
private
you.
chat.
I'll put it in there.
Yeah,
But
because I'm dyslexic, so it's easier for
it's
me
all
to
good. I take care of it.
copyright.
No problem.
Cool.
Now, the second one is called Getting Things Done Fast by David Allen. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
Both of those books are available in audio form. So even if you have a reason why you can't read it or whatever,
Yeah, I
you can
can
just
read.
listen.
It's my writing and spelling that's my issue. But I've got audio books as well, so I'll check it
I love
out
audio,
on that as well.
but I'll
Yeah,
drop both of those names of those books in the back chat. That Norman
yeah,
Vincent Peale will help with the way you say you're trying to look at yourself in a more positive light. Because I can see that you're very
yeah,
self-aware and you're in a zone where you're looking at honestly at yourself, and I
yeah.
think that would be of assistance while you're going through that, and then
It's
getting things
hard
done
to look
fast.
at the dark. It's hard to look at the dark side of yourself, because when some people could possibly look at the dark side of themselves and maybe never come back from it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's serious. And when you take accountability for your own part in your play, because I believe, like, this is how I try and move in a way that my life is my play, and I'm the director, the scriptwriter, the casting manager, the chef, the wardrobe assistant, everything. So if I don't like the script, I can change the script. If I don't like the cast members, I can change the cast members. You know what I mean? If I don't like the title of the movie, I can change it because I'm the director, because it's my play, my movie. So I have
Sounds like
to,
path.
pardon?
Sounds like you're already on the right path.
Yeah, but I also have to realize that, you know, um, what's gone is gone, and I can't go back and change none of that.
Check me
Yeah,
out. So because we're so big on action steps and we didn't quite get to all of the ones we
yeah,
wanted in reference to your situation, that's why I
yeah,
recommended the second book and getting things
yeah,
done fast, where I actually got the concept of action steps, because it specializes in breaking things down in that way. And it was designed more for businesses to help them
yeah,
structure stuff, but an individual can use the same strategy and organize their own life on a higher level and get
yeah,
down to the meat of what you need to do next. So,
because that's where I'm at now. I'm at that next point where, what am I gonna do next? My youngest is leaving high school next year and going to college. We do it a bit different here, so they go to high school till they're 16, then they go to college till they're 18, then they go to university. So she's going college next year, and she's able to work from next year. And if she's like my eldest daughter, she's gonna get a job straight away. So I'm really gonna just be here now, and I don't want to just be a constant babysitter for my grandchild, because even though I love him, I've done my time. Yeah. So, I don't mind helping with the work situation, but I'm only 45. I'm still young, so I still look young in my face as well, because we know black
okay,
don't pay.
okay, okay, Claire. Claire says she ain't
But
out the game. You understand
I'm
me? Don't
selling
count her out.
myself here, selling myself here, selling myself.
Okay, she says she can
So,
cook. She's still young. She on the way
yeah,
back.
So
I'm on my
listen,
Okay.
way back. Yeah,
so listen up. Damn, it's almost 10 p.m. our time. So
yeah. I'm gonna let you
it
guys
looked like
go.
Claire pulled the all nighter tonight, man.
Yeah, it's
But
it's 10 to 3 here,
hey,
so I best get some sleep
you
soon.
got that vamp life. But listen, if there's anything that I could hope, even at the minimum, if none of the stuff we talked about brings you any resonance, I just hope getting some of that shit off your chest is gonna make you sleep better tonight. You know?
Yeah, it's great. I love to share, because I feel like I'm a success in a way in some cases, you know, and to show that even with all that hurt and betrayal, you can still act right for your children. Do you know what I mean? You can
Boom.
you can still act right for your children,
There's
you
no
know,
excuse.
it, and you have to act right for them, because you're their teacher. So if how are they going to have healthy relationships in the future if you don't show them healthy relationships? We already messed up, so now we have the duty to act better. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And they deserve that. It's just as simple as that, regardless of, yeah, I've had to suck it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've all got egos and pride and that. But my ego and pride isn't as big as my love for my children. And
Say,
it's as
give me that one
simple
more time, please. One more time, please.
as my ego and pride isn't as big as my love for my children.
Beautiful.
Boom. Let me just so, ladies and gentlemen, rocks and flowers. I want to end on that high note.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
It's
off now.
it's not greater than her love for her children. She spoke to the motivation that early in this particular topic that Vic and I spoke to. So if there's ever a start that you want to have, that's the start you want to have. So I definitely want to thank you for showing up, Claire, and your space in the garden is eternally secure. Just
That's
pop up.
excellent.
Yeah,
I
just
will be
pop up
popping
the room for
because
us.
I seen you on another stream as well. Yeah, I've seen you on a couple of streams, and I like
Conversations with
that.
King.
Yeah, that's it. And I like that it's not all that people acting like hooligans, man, just acting all wild and got no behavior and talking to each other derogatory. And how are we gonna change if we don't stop it, man?
Yeah, we don't play
We're
that.
Well,
gonna need we're gonna need each other, man. They're trying to dun us out, man.
Them traffic done us out, you know it.
hey, hey, Claire. Much love. Welcome to the garden.
Yep, I look
Anytime you hear
forward.
a topic you like, just call in and let us know.
Yeah, I
Tell us.
look forward to speaking to you again, and to everybody in the chat. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
So
Listen,
have a blessed evening and a blessed Sunday. I hope you all rest well.
you as well. Big up in out of UK. Easy
Big
now.
Yeah,
up.
man.
Big up,
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
big
sir.
up.
Yeah, man. Easy every time. Everything
Easy every
tight.
time. Yeah. Woo!
Hey,
Listen, man.
didn't see that coming.
Yo, it's we're not supposed to. You know, we're not supposed to. Sometimes the garden will determine, the flow, which way the wind blows within that garden, and we're gonna talk about it. But this is not fake stuff, and I really appreciated somebody that was able to come up. They didn't have to cam up, but they were able to come up and talk and be candid, man, and be candid. I don't. When somebody's talking their real stuff, I can't make jokes. I make a joke to bring a sense of levity to them for them to feel better. You get me?
Yeah, you
But
getting
when somebody's sharing, when somebody is sharing all of the stuff. Hold on, let me put this in for Claire. Claire, her name is. I'm sorry, Blaze Brown. Her name is Claire 76. Claire 76. She looked like she got a nice head wrap on. Claire 76 in the emoji. She's in the chat. So where were we at? Yeah, man. When you got somebody that's sitting there bearing everything, especially with folks that we tend to hide our shit, you
right.
know, you gotta shut up and listen and be like, damn, and just ask some questions so that they can share with you. It was pretty dope, man. It was pretty dope. I didn't expect that, and yes, the story was long, but the stories of our lives are long, you know. And like I said before, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a life coach. I'm just somebody that's seen the world and seen things. I've consumed a lot of information and I just look at things in a certain way. And hopefully the balance that I attempt to exhibit for myself is the same type of balance that I'm sharing with y'all. So it's the equivalent of me having a sickness, and I notice that you have that same sickness, and I'm going in the pill bottle and sharing my medicine with you. I'm a work in progress, as we all are, So this was pretty dope. Talk to me, Vic. What you any final parting words, my G?
Hey, I think everything that needed to be said got said. And I think that was very dope. She made quite a few points from a woman's perspective who did get ran through the mud, and did go through it. Yet she was able to still self reflect honestly and not point all fingers away from herself, and understood that even inside of her pain, that her children's mental health and progression was still paramount in her list of things that she wanted to accomplish. So she put her own pain aside to help them move along. And I appreciate that. If nobody ever got to hear that, I appreciate her just doing it. So to share that deepness, I really honor her for that, and I want to uplift her for that.
It's funny, man. Lenski was like, Chef looked like he would make a great spades partner.
You already know now. Stop playing now.
Look, he don't even know I'm a spades killer, son. But
Okay.
even people that played the first
AK-47 over there.
they got no clue. Yeah, I go hard in the spades, the dominoes, all of that,
Matter.
poker. Yeah.
I wouldn't even try to get on the chessboard with you, bro.
Oh, come on, man. Chess, that was the first one. Another chess, I knew how to play spades. Yeah, man. So, listen, man. Today was wild. To be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I was going to drop anything. I finally completed the conceptualization of going on at 7 at about 20 after 6. That's why you got the... But listen, we did a little something. We picked up some more subscribers. So right now I'm at 202 subscribers, which is pretty dope. Considering, I was at 40 something like two weeks ago and stuff. So, man, I'm good. I'm good, and I appreciate all the support. I appreciate when folks, send me some great words, and I appreciate when y'all appreciate the way that I handle certain situations. I gotta handle it like me. These are people. And if she had took the time to share all of her stuff with us the way she did, valiantly, which is bravely, I owed her enough of respect to handle it seriously, So, I want to thank everybody for being part of this stream and for being the garden that we need. Wait, I gotta bring this up. Hanifa said I left and came back in on her talking about Pum Pum. If y'all don't know what a Pum Pum is, y'all miss nothing, brethren.
Missed it, yeah.
Anyway, I ain't translating that for you. But yeah, you funny, Hanifa. So yeah, it was pretty dope. So thank you. And this is just the first milestone. It's the first milestone. Just rock with me and just try to trust the process, man. Try to trust the process. Based on this little stuff that I've been doing the past few weeks. It's crazy. What's up, Jen? The craziest thing is this weird stuff I've been doing the past few weeks, and I've gotten calls, I've gotten different communications about potentially doing other things outside of here based on what they saw from this platform and from the conversations with King platform. And it was really wild. A couple of them had to do with my voice, and a couple of them have to do with some other things too that we'll talk about when things come to fruition. But man, this is an adventure, yo. And this is therapy for me. So I'm actually sitting on your couch, but you have no idea. Well, look, man. Peace, love. Catch me on the replay. Catch me on the rewind. Hit like, subscribe, and if what I say doesn't make any sense, Just give it a rewind the next day or after you have a blunt or have a shot of vodka or something. It's gonna resonate. It's gonna resonate, man. You're gonna understand the method to my madness. But thanks for being a part of this. I humbly appreciate all of you for sitting down here with me. It's 202 people that actually want to hear what I got to say, and they don't get paid for it. I do this for my job with 400 or 500 people, but I got 202 people who I don't even know that they want to hear what I got to say. So I'm gonna keep running my mouth. Holla at your boy, Chef Shapino. Catch me on my page if you care to support the channel. Cash App information's on the page and all of my communications. I appreciate you. Thank you for making me feel like I can add an additional level of importance or resonance on this planet. So thank you to the garden, the rocks, and the flowers. God bless. Assalamu alaikum. Bendiciones. Whatever you got. Peace and love. Chef out.